Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of -13. Tomorrow night, becoming cloudy, some snow showers late in the area, and a low down to -18. Thursday, mostly clouded, some isolated snow showers again in the area, and a high of -2, but windy out of the northwest, 25 to 40, gusting over 50. Friday looks partly to mostly cloudy, and a high of -10. And Saturday, mix of sun and cloud, and a high of -14. Currently in downtown Regina, it's partly cloudy. It's -9, but it feels like -17.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
And welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Sportscage. From downtown Regina, back here. Agribition last week. That was a heck of a ride. Thanks for everyone who came by and said hi. Lots to get to in the program today. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries, the main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our province. We're going to hope that you participate on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. What are you thinking about out there today? It doesn't have to be sports. Yeah, it is a sports show, but for 3 hours and for the last almost 2 years, you know, it could be pop culture, it could be music, could be I want to say politics, but it's not politics. 936-6262. Prairie Land Rental, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. Anything you need for a rental. And now, as the snow starts to come, you're thinking about Husqvarna snow throwers. All of our guests are going to join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings. All the Greek favorites you love at any of the Western pizzas. And a great stocking stuffer or gift exchange this holiday season. If you're into the gift exchanges, Western Pizza gift card, Yahtzee, easy peasy. Who's going to join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline? How about Ben Hebert from Regina, lead on the Brad Jacobs curling squad that is now heading to the Olympics. Benny's third trip to the Olympics. She'll be with us in about 10 minutes' time. Eric Francis, live from Nashville. Well, who knows where that could go. Eric's going to be with us in hour 2. Hour 3, Glen Suitor, sprinkling in a whole lot more. We're going to talk about SJHL, WHL, maybe some AAA college football. And Lane Kiffin. And you don't got to be a U.S. college fan to, like, really give us your opinion or thoughts on it. Just what's happened down there in the last 4 days just baffles me. We are pleased to be joined by Don Hewitt on Tuesday again, former sports director at CTV Regina Patriots. If you're watching the YouTube stream through sportscage.com.
And they wore their red uniforms last night, just like your bunny hug.
The throwbacks, the Patriot look, they... I don't, we know that I'm a diehard Patriots fan. Not diehard, but I'm not cuckoo bananas. Like, I know they stunk the last few years. I don't know, still don't know about this team. Like, Drake May looks really good. And that was a standalone game. Yeah. So now everybody's like, oh boy, are the Patriots back? Are the Patriots... Vrabel, talk about opposite of Bill Belichick. Like, he's high-fiving guys. He's giving them hugs. Yeah. He's still... Want to hear a funny Mike Vrabel story? First game ever went to Gillette. 2 of my buddies from Regina, one from Regina, one from Fort Mac. We roll in there, and it was against Pittsburgh the year they went undefeated, except for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And we roll in, and Foxborough. I've been to Boston. I've been to Providence. I've been to the area. So we dressed for -2 what was the Sunday nighter against Ben Roethlisberger,
Good game.
Heinz Ward, Troy Polamalu. Great. Well, -2 damp cold is a heck of a lot different than -2 here.
Dry cold.
Well, we didn't have anything to break the wind. It was down to your bones. Luckily, we huddled up with people in the stand, but we were leaving the stadium and trying to go back to where we were supposed to meet the driver. Long walk. All of a sudden, this big Ford F-150 comes, slams on the brakes, almost hits us, coming out of kind of the stadium-ish area. We're like, whoa, And I don't even, like I was saying to my wife last night, I don't even think we were buckled because it was too cold to drink. Like, I think we were just wanting to get somewhere warm. And my buddy, who was like die-hard Patriots fan, he goes, hey, are you Mike Vrabel? His window was down. He goes, yeah.
Playing, yeah.
He goes, cool. And we kept walking. So Mike Vrabel in his F-150.
That's all he could come up with. Are you Mike Vrabel? He couldn't come up with anything else at all.
We were so cool. But yeah, he's got them rolling. Speaking of football, Don, do you want to go Philpott or do you want to go Miller in Toronto first? Your thoughts?
I'd say Philpott because of how it affects the Roughriders and Samuel Emelis. So do you want to read off do you want me to read it off or do you want to read off the contract you got the Justin Dunk reported on today?
Yeah, so alleged Montreal's Tyson Philpott from 3 Down Nation and league sources that the Delta BC native has received a $100,000 signing bonus
for next year
as part of a $275,000 hard money 2026 deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, I'm thinking it's 100 and so 175-ish salary with the signing bonus. But then he can earn 285 in hard money in 2027. So obviously highest paid
and
national
and guaranteed 100,000 no matter what happens. So if he was hurt in 2026, he'd still get the $100,000 in 2027, which is very nice for a football player to get. So this is an example, not a surprise what Tyson Philpott got. He was a Canadian of the game in a Grey Cup game, just like Sam Emelis. But this is what Jeremy O'Day is up against with his free agents after they win the Grey Cup. And this sets the tone for probably what Samuel Emelis can expect to get for Saskatchewan. He can't go back to Montreal to his hometown, Sam Emelis, now because I think that's done with
without taking a
Philpott.
massive haircut.
Right. If they've gone with Philpott and that's it. So, but this is how Jeremy O'Day has to make some very difficult calls because the salary cap in 2026 from 2025 goes up around $100,000.
Peanuts.
So it's pretty peanuts when you're trying to juggle 44 free agents like Jeremy and his football operations people are. But I would say this has got to be one of the most challenging off seasons Jeremy O'Day has ever had because of the success that the team had, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, if you want Samuel Emelis back as a Canadian receiver, somebody else will likely be going, whether it's Schaefer Baker, whether it's Neil, who were great contributors on their run to the Grey Cup championship this year, or this past month or so. So, yeah, tough, hard decisions. I'm sure that, the coaching staff with head coach Corey Mace will be involved in these decisions as well. They'll look at it as a team, as they always do under O'Day, and they'll all have their 2 bits. But, yeah, it's going to cost them to keep Samuel Emelis. And we saw what he did in the Grey Cup, and we saw whenever he's healthy what he can do. If I had to pick between Philpott and Sam Emelis, I would take Emelis over Philpott. He runs in heavy traffic better than Philpott, and he can go deep just as well as Philpott.
What do you think out there? 936-6262. I'm on the fence on this one. And am I usually fence-sitting guy?
No,
I don't know,
really.
but
That's usually Dave.
I don't know if the Riders, no offense to Sam Emelis, if he's listening to the show, I know a lot of the riders do, and a lot of the rider parents do. I don't know yet if that kind of dough is worth it, right? So let's fantasy this up. Like we're building a roster in Madden, but it's a CFL version. That's a lot of money. Just like Geno Lewis last year, I was saying that's a lot of money for one receiver. And I like Geno Lewis. He's come on the show. We've had really good conversations. I'm more of we can get two guys, maybe, and to fill the one gap. Now, mind you, he did impress me, especially, like you said, in the Grey Cup game. He doesn't mind the traffic.
No.
That's a lot of money for one receiver when you could have a stable full.
And that brings you to the topic of what I was talking to Al Ford about the other day, having lunch with him, the former longtime Rough Rider general manager. And I said, would some of these players take a hometown discount, in other words, to stay with this organization after winning a championship? And Al Ford just looked at me and said, the money talks. That's all he said. Well, he said there isn't too much, at least in his recollections as being a general manager of the Rough Riders, he didn't recall too many hometown discounts during his tenure.
Randy in Watrous says he thinks MLS is going to find a different team. Cash is gonna talk, like you said, or like we were talking about. It's just a matter of now. This is such a statement for a national receiver. I like Phil. I really like Philpott. I was curious. I didn't think he was gonna leave, unless with Hatcher in limbo, in Vancouver from Delta. Does he maybe go to BC, and then does that free up MLS to go home? That was my worry.
Yeah, well, go
now.
East. Well, it's interesting because it's all started off well with this organization staying together, and particularly Kyle Carson, the assistant general manager, staying. That was huge news that he would stay. Overtures from Hamilton. As I said last week, Jeremy O'Day, the general manager of the Rough Riders and vice president of football operations, is a team builder, and the head coach is a team builder with the players too, Corey Mace. And so, can the organization staying together in a football ops, and we'll see how many assistants come back for Coach Mace, but can they stay together on the field as well through, just through being happy? Again, Al Ford said money talks, but we'll see. By the way, this is the first time I ever saw when Justin Dunk reported that Kyle Carson was coming back. He said this. So Kyle stays in Saskatchewan along with wife Brianne, son Cruz, I think it's Cruz, daughter Daisy, and the family pooch Nash. Now that's the most detailed reporting I've ever seen. When the pooch is actually, you actually know what the pooch's name is. I think that's great detailed reporting.
Right down to the canine.
Anyway, I digress.
But I think that Kyle Carson to me, is a little bit of a statement right there. It's like, no, we're running this back.
Yeah,
we're keeping this together.
That's that. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and so if he isn't interested in greener pastures, who would be? Like
that's
like we could go through the coaching staff.
They're trying to run it back. That they all know that, and I'm sure they've talked to the players. We want to run this back. It's a very difficult thing to do, but that's what that's our goal.
And that's where
what the coach has already said is their goal.
O'Day's got some fancy footwork to do, and
he does.
We get to talk to Craig Reynolds next week and a kind of season-ending interview and find out some.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, ticket sales are brisk. What I've heard.
Really?
Right
I haven't heard that.
From a very good source, they're very brisk.
Christmas
That's what happens when you win a Grey Cup.
Christmas presents, or just the
yes,
pack
Christmas
should
presents.
be out there. Flex packs.
The schedule comes out next week too, so I imagine.
And that's there's another argument about the new commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, the schedule is coming out next week under the new commissioner, Stuart Johnston. That says it all.
When was it last year? Was it February?
At least.
I think so.
That's nuts.
This is a mammoth improvement for people to make their plans.
Like, remember when we were sitting here basically twiddling our thumbs going, okay, no schedule. And then December rolled by, and then January rolled by, and it's like, what? Is there a problem? Is there a major problem here? They have all their ducks in a row with the neutral site games.
Well, that's the thing. They had the toughest schedule they've ever had with the two teams in the World Cup stadiums, and they still got it out early.
January 16th, if our YouTube history is to believed, is when it came out last year. So
say that
January 16th.
See, it wasn't February. It just felt like February.
Still mid-January.
It did.
Yeah, no, because we wanted it late November. Then we wanted, and then I remember around Christmas, we're like, how do you not have this out around Christmas so people can buy some tickets, buy some
Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Like everybody in Saskatchewan, let's be honest, under their tree at home, everybody in Saskatchewan wants something green and white under the tree, or whatever it may be.
$20
and
bills.
Tickets would be green. Yeah, green and white too. Like if there's not something green and white under my Christmas tree, I'll be very upset with direct family members.
I was in the store. When was it? Last week and a half ago. Man, they got a lot of good stuff in there, and they know what they're doing. They're no dummies. They're bringing it in, and it's going out, and it's like, all right, come out with this. Come out with a new toque. You know what? As we say that today, everybody that texts in with a comment on something, we have a rider toque. If you're watching the YouTube stream, I'm going to grab it at the break here, and then I'm going to show it. And then, Colson, you're going to have to pick someone from all the text messages. Not just if you just text in and say hi. Give us some substance. Give us something.
Something substantial.
What do you think? What do you think about the Sam Emilus? What do you think about... do you think any coaches are going to leave for the Riders? It could be NHL. What do you think about the Jets stinking right now? The Regina Pats came back. No wins. Prince Albert Red. Anything sports-wise. Text in 936-6262. I'm going to grab the toque, and then I'm going to...
and then you can show it.
I'm going to show it. And then we got Ben Hebert coming up after the break. It is a Sports Cage. Streaming through our YouTube channel if you want to watch along at sportscage.com.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
620 CKRM on location.
We are at the Gallagher Center. It's Celtic Lighton with the Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery. Yeah, this is the home of the Yorkton Terriers and the home of the Yorkton Exhibition head office, and that's where they're going to be doing the draw here on Friday night. All the draws will be happening at 9 p.m. That means you've got to have your ticket into that draw drum by 6 p.m. on Friday. $100,000. Who wouldn't want that right about now? Wouldn't that be nice? It's the end of the year. Boy, a cash injection would be real nice there. There's also 10 draws of $500, 14 draws of $1,000, and there's a 50-50 take-home, take-home is just over $11,000 and growing. Now, you must have a ticket in order to be eligible for this $100,000. 1-866-783-4800, 1-866-783-4800, or online at YorktonExhibition.com.
Ready to raise your shower game? Rent a water heater and water softener together from Reliance Heath and turn every shower into a spa-worthy experience. Right now, when you rent a new water heater and water softener together, you'll get $400 back, sent by check after installation. Why settle for meh when you can upgrade your whole home's water and get big cashback savings? Don't miss out on this limited time offer.
Call on Reliance.
Call on Reliance Heath today.
This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Okay, if you're watching the stream, sportscage.com, here's the Rider hat. I wasn't joking. The Rider, toque. Wool hat, beanie, and it's got the tag. This isn't game worn or anything. It's got the tag on it. See there? We're going to give this away today.
Hope not.
If you're watching through the YouTube stream, sportscage.com, that's what we're going to do. Every text message is, Dion, I see you. I see Trevor. I see Travis. I see Rob. Roscoe, we love you too. John, Sherry, Anita. We'll get to all of those in a bit. Okay, we'll get to keep their text messages coming. A lot of people are saying, yeah, Sam Emelis, there are 3 of them that I just read quickly.
Yep.
They think it might be tough to keep Emelis. I'm going to put this here right beside Don. We'll go back to that. All right, Western Pizza, like I said, stocking stuffers or that gift exchange. Western Pizza, gift card. Easy enough. They can get what they want. And if you need catering this holiday season, why wouldn't a guy or girl load up on some Western Pizza, some pie, some ribs, some salad? You'd be a hit if you take that to the staff potluck. Let's go to the Western Pizza guest hotline. Joining us, he's back in Calgary, and he's on his way to the Olympics. Congratulations, Ben Hebert. Okay, shoot it to me straight here. Keep in mind we're live on the radio. Okay, keep in mind we're live here. When did the party end?
I actually was the first one. I pulled the pin at 4 a.m. I was like, that's it. I was feeling a little bit old and I was feeling my age. But we had a great time. It just we didn't get off the ice till the game was over at 10. Kind of had a big ceremony. Did all the drug testing and the interviews as Team Canada. I think we went to the patch at about 11:45. It shut down at 1. And then we went to a little pub called the Lower Deck.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Till 2. And then we actually just went back to our team room with a few family members and friends and pumped some tunes and had a few more nightcaps. And at 4 a.m., I'm like, boys, you know what? We got a big day tomorrow. And I went to bed at 4. Woke up at 9. Had to do a few interviews in the morning. And then me and Brad Jacobs got on the mimosas in the afternoon and got a good day buzz. So we had a great time.
Not beer and clam. You went straight mimosas.
Yeah, we went straight for the mimosa wagon. And we kept her going for about 24 hours. And then our age caught up to us. And we're like, okay, back to reality here.
I thought someone would have twisted your arm to go to the Cino there if you're at the Lower Deck. Maybe it's just a hop, skip, and a jump over there because that thing rocks till late. How about the week though? Like, just explain it kind of through your eyes. You've been through a lot of grinds, Briars, playdowns, Olympics, all that. Was last week grindy for you guys?
Oh yeah, every trials is grindy. You never go through a trials super smooth. Like when I won with Kmart in 2009, we lost the game early in the round robin. When I won with Cooey in 2017, we lost the game early in the round robin. And that's just such a winner take all, no reward bonds. We always say trials isn't necessarily a fun bond spiel. Like the Briar's fun. Briars we've been to that we've lost, you still have a good time. But the trials, if you're one of the favorites at the trials, it's so boom or bust. And to win, you get so many crazy experiences, things like life-changing things that happen to you, and lose. It's just like back to real life. Where at least at the Briar, there's some prize money, there's a bunch of points, there's other opportunities that come from getting to the Briar playoffs. Trials is just like all or nothing. If you're a lower ranked team and you're there for a good time, sure, but I've never had that experience. I've always had a decent team at the trials and a chance to win. So at the end of it, it's just like, let's decompress and twist off here a little bit and have a good time. But it was a grind of a week, but that's what we play for, those cool opportunities that don't come around very often. And to be able to seize the moment like we did again, man, on top of the world.
So when you're grinding, especially in your position, Brad, as a lead, who you were voted the best lead of all time in curling by a TSN poll, by the way. And now, how much work do you do in the gym? I mean, obviously you're on the ice practicing a lot. You could talk about how much you do practice when we don't see you curling on TV, but how much gym work for this, the power of sweeping do you do? How often are you in a gym?
Well, in the summertime, a lot. But during the season here, the last 2 months, we've been playing so much, not near as much as I should be or would want to be. But I'm too old to be cranking weights every day in squats and then going to throw rocks and thinking my body's going to hold up for that. Like, no chance in hell.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm kind of one of the other, work out hard in the off season to get in good shape. But once it comes time to curling, I'm mostly just on the ice one thing. I mean, now we have 2 months off. We don't have not a lot of competition for the Olympics. I'll definitely be back in the gym here these next 9 weeks. And I mean, on a good week for me, 3-4 days a week is plenty. I'm not doing Olympic lifts and squats and that I used to do and blow my back out these days. I'm just trying to stay on the ice and not be a full-on Band-Aid. But right now the body feels great. 1 game a day at the Olympics will be a piece of cake. And I just get to go out and perform. So
You've been through this before, and this is one thing I wanted to ask you, because I know guys go on big golf trips, right? Bandon Dunes, Scott, wherever. It's like you kind of want to keep working out and doing stuff, but you're really cautious because it's like, I can't be hurt for this thing. So how cautious are you now leading up to this in February?
Well, no more cautious than I was leading up to our hold. Probably I hurt my back really bad in 2021 deadlift.
Knock on wood. Okay, knock on wood.
I was thinking I was still a hero and trying to be a bodybuilder at 21, and I hurt my back. And ever since then, I wouldn't say it's been quite 100.
Yeah.
So for the last 3-4 years, I've really been doing, I would say not the biggest, manliest workouts that I used to do when I was, cranking weights at level 10 in Regina and throwing around as much as I could.
Chalking up.
I'm pretty safe. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. If that's what people think that I'm doing, that's incorrect. So, but it's, I mean, hey, get the body feeling good, feeling healthy, no injuries. I'm going into the Olympics with no injuries. So whether I look cut like a diamond or a bag of milk, I won't have any injuries. I'll be feeling real good.
Baggy shirts, man. Lulu stuff, right? Nice and fitted. How do you approach a best of 3 like that? I was actually curious on that.
Yeah, that was my first best of 3 ever in curling. So something new for this old dog to be able to experience. But after the first game, I was like, damn, I wish it was 1 gamer. But actually we were I think we could really feel the tension in the other team in that second game when it was elimination for them and not elimination for us. I think that was a lot. I think the first game, it was just, the ice was a little tricky the first game, a few extra misses out there, but I didn't feel the tightness or the tension because it was game 1. But by game 2, it was do or die for them and it wasn't for us. And I felt like we were a lot more veteran in that second game, and it could have been because of the situation. But even if you see my celebration here, like normally in those moments I black out and I don't remember anything. And I was completely calm and composed. And I can pretty much guarantee if that was game 3 and it was make and win or miss and lose, I don't think you would have saw that reaction from me. So I think just the situation and the understanding that we had an extra life, it was huge to win that first game and give us the opportunity to play real free in game 2 and close it out.
Well, in Moose Jaw, when you're in Moose Jaw at the Worlds last year, Brad Jacobs said that you, Mark Kennedy, and Brett Gallant helped him enormously as a skip and in the mental game of curling. You don't usually hear the skip say that about the other 3 players on the team, but he did. He was adamant that you 3 were a huge part of his success now. Can you talk us through that and how that evolved?
Well, I think it certainly goes both ways. He's really the reason why we're here today as well. So he can say all that nice stuff to BS, but we know we're here because of him. But I think just our experience, like Brett Gallant played with Brad Gushu for 10 years. Me and Mark Kennedy played with Kevin Martin, Kevin Cooey, 2 of the best strategic skips in the game. And, if you're a young player like I was at the time, and you're not, taking down all the notes and taking it all in, being a sponge of those guys and learning along the way, to not have anything to give back to the younger teammates or players, that would be a real rookie move. And so I learned so much from those guys playing for, 15, 16 years with two of the greatest skips ever in Canada. And so when I got together with Brad, Brad brings a lot of things that I'm learning from him that I didn't learn from Kevin Martin or Kevin Cooey, right? And so he's teaching us some stuff, but there was a couple areas that he was picking our brain on that we'd learned from some of the best with Gushu and Martin and Cooey. And so we've kind of tried to trickle that down to him. And, we got a team full of knowledge. So it's pretty easy to say, okay, well, Brett, what was your experience here? Mark and Ben, you guys were the same. Brad's this. And then we kind of just take whatever path works best for the four of us, right? There's never only one way to do things, but we've all had such success in doing them different ways that we've tried to do things our own way, and it's worked out great for us.
I didn't see the unit Griff shirtless at the trials. I don't know if that maybe etiquette wise he wasn't allowed to do there if he wasn't there. But how does it play out now for you to kind of, obviously, okay, we got to get the family there, and it's going to be different for you because the kids are a little bit older. They're going to get it this time around, I would suspect.
Yeah, well, no, my family, I went full on business trip to Halifax. Like I said, the trials isn't a super fun trip for everybody. It's super stressful, and we went in as the favorite. So you go in as the favorite. When you win, you get all the glory and all the fun stuff that comes with it. My sick new sweater I picked up yesterday.
That is nice.
You get all these. It's real nice, boys. And so, you get a lot of cool things. And so I told the fam that you're not coming, and they were booked to come to Newfoundland for the Brier, but now it looks like we're canceling that. And I've been on all these Italian websites all morning looking for some houses and just grinding my bank account right down to the dirt to get everybody there. But no, my family's for sure going to be coming, man. It's, you don't get these opportunities very often. And certainly like being one of the oldest Olympians with kids that are 12 and 8, the last time I went, my son was 1 and my daughter was 5. So, they don't remember that in Pyeongchang, but now we're going to Italy and, they really want to join. My son has to miss a bunch of hockey. My daughter has to miss her Alberta Winter Games, curling provincials, which she'd be a part of. They have a great little team. They probably have a decent chance to win. But my wife said, yeah, right. We're going to Italy. So,
have you been?
For sure.
Flights. I've never been to Italy, no. But I saw the Village. It's interesting. I'd like to stay at the Fairmont if I got to pick, but we're in the Village. I'm an old guy now. But the
nice
family, we found them a spot, and their flights are booked, so we're just like lining up tickets. And you can pretty much guarantee there's going to be a lot of Canada gear and Lulu gear and all the stuff that we can find under the Christmas tree this year to load up for everybody. So it's going to be pretty sweet. It makes my life easy. Christmas shopping this year is real easy, boys.
No doubt, for sure. Heard you bought your daughter some new bats though for softball season, so that's good. What about the curling rink? Because there's lots being made about the NHL rink or the hockey rink, sorry, not being done. Have you seen the facility there? Is it has it been around for a few years or is it new too?
That's a good question. We did a little orientation on Saturday, but I was feeling loose, so I don't really remember. I think that, the curling, I think it's been there for a while, but it's built, it's ready to roll. I saw the stuff about the hockey rink not being ready, but it'll be ready. They're not going to drop the ball. Hey, you can't get the NHLers back for the best show and then, fall on its face. So they'll have the rink ready. It's going to be good to go to watch Canada and Sid and McNasty dust up the rest of the world. I can't wait.
Oh man, that's so exciting for you guys too, right? Let's be honest. It's like hey. you were in Vancouver. It's
those are our teammates now, eh? Like I know everyone looks up to them. Those are my teammates. We're equals. Right? They got a few more zeros. They got a few more zeros and commas, but we're equals. It's all good.
Maybe Coop will ask you for some advice. You never know. What about Rachel Holman, man? And I know you guys celebrated with them. Like, talk about another wagon.
Oh, they are nasty, man. Yeah, that's a good thing for not Curling Canada own the podium. Every Canadian curling fan, they're such heavy favorites, and they've just had 2 years of complete domination. Rachel herself, she's a stone cold killer. Great friend of mine. I've known her for a long time. I was super happy for them. They jumped on the mimosa wagon with us on Sunday as well. We had a good little time with them. We got to celebrate, but yeah, they're going to be an amazing team for Canada there. I know the rest of the world didn't love that they won, and that's a really good thing. So yeah, I'm really proud of them. They've put a lot of work in, hardest working team, best team, and to see them go represent Canada, we're going to have another really good chance of getting on the podium with them for sure.
Now, last year in the World's semis, you lost to Scotland, even though you had a better shooting percentage, 93 to 89 in the game. They're obviously going to be a big favorite, I would think. Ben, who are the teams that you really want to beat, and what did you learn, or did you learn anything recently in Moose Jaw that you can apply to the Olympics against teams like Sweden, Scotland, and Switzerland?
I think the biggest thing that we learned is that we went 12-2 against that field, and we're the same team, and going to play those same team, gives us a lot of confidence. That was our first year together as a team with Brad and Mark, and I hadn't been to a World since 19, so to test the waters there to see if we could compete and to go 12-2 and play as well as we did. And, got dealt a bad hand in the semi having to play Bruce because they didn't have a great round robin. And then Switzerland got that soft little game in the semi. Like we were realistically, we were the second best team there. Bruce's team kind of outplayed us in the semi. But I think we played that Switzerland team in the round robin and beat them 11-3. So a lot of good things from us to come out of that week. Just the confidence that we can be on the podium there. Certainly Bruce is the number one team in the world. We're going to have to elevate our game to beat him. But don't kid yourself. We ain't far behind. And as much as a lot of the women's teams did not love Rachel winning, none of the men's teams love that we won either. So we're going to be bringing it. We're a confident team. We put a lot of hard work in. We got great pieces, youth, experience, tons of energy, tons of shots. We're going to go there and we're going to try to get a gold medal. And if we don't, we come home with any medal. But I'll tell you what, we ain't going there with any lack of effort and excitement and determination. So that's a good thing for our team and for the rest of the country.
That's the way to do it right there. Roll, kick the door in when you show up, right? NOD style. Let's go. We're here. What kind of slacks did they give you? What did they give you underneath for that? That's a nice tarp, by the way.
Yeah, this is real nice. What did we get? Yesterday we got just a nice black Lulu shirt, and we got this beauty sweater, and we got matching pants. They're like hammer pants. They're huge bell bottoms at the bottom. Mine are I got to get mine taken in a bit, but they're sweet. So we don't get our full kit until we get over there, but we got to try on a bunch of the stuff. And February the 3rd, our flight leaves. We fly through Frankfurt, and then we have a staging about 4 hours away from where the Olympic Village is. We're there for 5-6 days, a bunch of practice together, and then we wheel over to the village on February the 9th, and I think our first game is the 11th.
Any of the fellows from Regina booking flights or planning to kind of leech on somewhere?
Leech.
I don't know. Yeah, they are leeches. Yeah, I don't really know actually. I'd have to talk. Maybe my buddy. I don't know if my buddy Rhett Hanowski or Quentin Stewart, maybe Davey Lowe. Dave's too cheap, but the rest of them might look at it. I don't know. I haven't, honestly, I've been home. I got home at 1 a.m. last night. You're my first interview I've done, so I got a bunch more, I'm sure, lined up. But
appreciate you.
I got to talk to I think my brother's maybe looking into it. My dad.
Oh.
It's so expensive to go just because it's such a small town, little village that accommodations are tough and tickets are tough. So flights are really the only thing that are really easily accessible. Oh. So kind of going through that here the next few days to see who's all going to be watching on TV in the middle of the night and then who's coming over to crush some chicken parm.
Oh man, yeah. So much fun. Of course, appreciate you doing this. Super, super happy for you. It's gonna be an awesome watch for everybody in Regina.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks for the support, and you guys have a good holidays, and you'll see me on the tube in February.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe to get Dave over there. Maybe. Yeah. Appreciate you, Benny. Thanks, man.
Okay, guys. See you later.
Really is Regina's Ben Hebert on his way to the Olympics again.
Curling superstar from Regina.
I like because his kids are now a little bit older, man. Kids are kind of roughly around the same age as mine. And now they get to go see Dad curl in the Olympics.
That's huge.
Not going to be cheap, like he said.
Yeah.
I've never been. You've been to Italy? You've ever been there?
Yes. I have been there.
Whereabouts? Milan?
I was
Rome?
in Rome, Venice, Florence. A very interesting country.
Is it?
Yeah, they'll love it. It's hope they can maybe, I don't know. their schedule's so tight it'd be hard. And plus, Brent Glatt's playing in mixed too. I don't know how that works.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But he's in mixed with his wife.
Yeah. No, it's,
so they must, he'll be bouncing all over the place, I would think.
Awesome stuff. Regina's Ben Hebert joining us here on the Sports Cage. More Sports Cage coming up after the break.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
620 CKRM on location.
It's Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Gallagher Centre in Yorkton, the Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery. We're right beside the area where the Yorkton Terriers play, and their next home game is coming up on December the 9th against the Estevan Bruins. So, hey, if you happen to win $100,000, maybe that night you can come and collect your check if you want. If you're in the Yorkton-Melville region, stop on by and get your ticket in person here at the Yorkton Exhibition office. They've got a great big lottery sign out here. You can't miss it. And you just never know. You just might get that phone call saying, congratulations, you won $100,000. If you've got kids in hockey and curling, in indoor soccer, that, boy, it adds up real quick with the accommodations and tournaments and registration fees and the equipment. Right about now, $100,000 would be welcomed. 1-866-783-4800, 1-866-783-4800.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite-air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com, on our YouTube channel, and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Big Lotto Max tonight. Is it 65 schmil?
Now, if you win, do you have a ticket?
I got my, what is it, an $11?
Will you show up at work tomorrow if you win that money?
Absolutely.
So
tomorrow I will. Let me tell you how easy your life will be if I win that money too.
How easy?
Just
you're gonna give me a quick mill, or?
Well, I don't know about a mill. I don't know. We'll figure out what kind of payments you have, and we'll kind of. I appreciate you. I go. Look, we're giving away.
I'll take anything you want if you win that.
If you're watching the stream, we're still giving away this Rider Toque wool hat, brand new, obsidian green. It's actually sharp. We're giving this away today.
I like that.
Any nice text messages we get on the Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262, or even the YouTube chat. So we got text messages that came in. First off, Colson, you said you have a picture of the curling rink in Italy?
Yeah, so I was just, while we're talking Olympics, I'm just looking this stuff up, right? We can go through all of them, but first, here's the opening ceremony stadium, which that's where AC Milan plays. That's their
soccer team?
Yeah, soccer team. It's about 70,000, 75,000. Largest stadium in Italy.
What?
So
that's a weird looking roof or partial roof.
But that's just opening ceremonies because it's not summer games. They don't have track or anything going there. And then here's the curling rink, which is in Cortina, which is the secondary city. Nice view of the Alps in the background there.
Beautiful.
Oh, man. Does that look
beautiful?
Look at that motorhome right there. What's that going to rent for?
And
go ahead.
Then the one that blew me away is the closing ceremonies are in Verona. And they're in an old Roman amphitheater.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Really? And
Amazing.
apparently, sometime while Rome was still a thing, they tried to buff this back up, and then the other Italian republics and whatever, they kept maintaining it and turned it into a literal amphitheater that is still used during the summer. And so they're doing the closing ceremonies
That's
in a
cool.
Roman amphitheater. And I'm like, okay.
Can you look up, out of curiosity, when you look up what the if there was a last concert that was there? Like, that would be an unreal place to go for a concert.
I would think so.
Like in Metallica
Amazing.
or AC/DC in there, like a real heavy.
I'll get back to you on that.
By
but
the way, that
it's
you
about
were
15,
mentioning
20,000 people there.
How much does that hold?
About 15,
It
20,000.
looks bigger than that.
Yeah.
you were mentioning the hockey rink and whether they're going to have it ready or not. But the NHL demanded, with their players playing in the Winter Olympics this year, that it be an NHL size ice surface, not an Olympic sized ice surface. And guess what?
It's smaller.
It's smaller.
Is that a true
than the
story?
NHL. Well, that's what I've read and some reasonably credible sources.
There it is. It's
It'll
on
be
social
smaller
media,
than
so
the
it must be
NHL.
true.
By about 3 to 4 feet.
That-
So does that mean, Barney, that you get a bigger, more physical team now on a smaller ice?
I was talking to Tarrington, who we've had on the show. He's going over to be. He works at Extreme Hockey, our great client, and Umbrella Marketing. If you need any of these Yetis or anything, he's going to Lions at the Olympics. This is a big deal. We had him on the show when he got the call.
Cool.
And he brought that up today. And I said, no. I said, someone's joshing you. I said, joshing. And I said, there is no way that they could make it smaller. And you think that's not a lot, but it is. When
That's
the
a ton.
fastest
That's
hockey,
a ton.
he said it's the fastest hockey I'm ever going to see.
Yep.
And for sure.
So does Tom Wilson go on the team now? Because you've got,
I would have put
obviously,
Tom
body
Wilson on.
checking and hitting is going to be more paramount, even with the speed.
I like Tom Wilson. The only thing, and this is 936-6262, if you have a comment on it, it is going to be officiated so different.
You make a point. Although there's NHL referees, it's a mix, but you're still right.
Yeah.
The European refs, yep.
Yeah, you're going to get it's going to get like, and, reffing is, who's the big ref out there nowadays? Andy Van Helleman. and then it's going to be some guy from Yugoslavia with him. And it's right. But I think it's a lot better than what it used to be, but it's going to be very interesting. The smaller ice surface baffles me. Like,
oh, it does.
and for that to be released, so now the stadium's not done, and it's smaller ice surface, 3 to 4 feet. What would that? 936-6262. It's not a ton, but it's enough. Like, what would that be?
It's a lot.
Bethune. I'm trying to think
yeah.
like Bethune's ice surface. Momart Rollo, really small. Shout out Abby. Abby's the smallest ice surface I've ever played on. Competitive, like contact hockey. It was awesome. But
and rough when you're on a little rink like
3 to 4 feet. I wonder if that's length or width.
I don't know, but
that's
they have to take that into consideration when they're picking the team. What do you think?
Other tweets I was reading, I think that's length.
Poor goalies. Because either then you got to put the net, you got to make the room behind the net still the same. So then now the blue line or your neutral zone's smaller, or else the blue line moves up.
Yeah, I think
probably the neutral
zone is probably smaller. Would be my guess. I mean, talking about incompetence. The biggest hockey tournament we've seen since the last time the NHL was in the Olympics, and they screw up the ice surface size.
It could be the same company that screwed up the waterline piping that was on Rochdale or on Louvain for about 10 years. They had that pipe, and it's been a couple of years since we've had that. Remember that? Did you ever go up in that area? It was they put it in.
Remember, I believe
it took about 2 years. They put it in, then they dug it all up, and they had to put it in again or something.
Yeah. It was sort of like the Calgary situation with their water.
Dion from Regina on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, going back to how much Philpott is going to get paid in hard money from the Montreal Alouettes, and then we talked about Sam MLS. He says that's way too much for one receiver. Montreal made it rough for the Riders. As a lifelong Eskimo fan, he said, I hated paying Lawler and Lewis over $300K. Riders can't afford to keep MLS, and everybody else, I'd hate to be O'Day. Just like Montreal paying O-lineman Lesage that huge money. So I'm in agreement with Dion. I just you pay one guy that, or you bring back two, maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's some creative workaround that we don't know about.
Well, I guess that's the question. Would the Saskatchewan Roughriders have won the Grey Cup without Sam Emilus? I mean, I'm just going out there with that question.
I think so.
And my answer would be, you think so?
I think so. I think they still win. And Trevor Harris was dialed. We had a lot of good receivers. Trevor says, I'm not sure any team is looking for a number one Canadian receiver. Maybe Edmonton, BC has McInnes. Stamps have the other Philpott. Bombers got Dembski, Argos, and Ticats got a number of really good Canadian receivers. Ottawa possibly, but they also got Gino. There you go. So not a lot of big money to throw around for receivers, even as good as MLSN. I think the Riders will give him the most money. Trevor and Regina.
Well, my prediction is I think the Riders, Jeremy O'Day, will figure out a way to sign Samuel Emilus. That's my prediction. How he's going to go about it, I don't know. I think he'll end up being on this football team again. That's just my prediction.
Travis is taking a bit of a dig at you here again.
Oh, that's
he's
okay.
He's like, I'm not sure releasing the schedule early in 2025 is going to balance out the negative thoughts about rule changes in 2027. Travis is one of the guys.
The 26 schedule. Yeah, okay.
Travis doesn't like the rule changes. He's mentioned that before. Captain Harvey Ryder renews our season tickets every year for us at Christmas. So there's
that's nice.
Quickly here, Celebrini and Bedard, 2 and 3 NHL points. Marvin.
That's exactly right. That's something to talk about,
with
Francis,
Eric.
with. They're 2 and 3. Celebrini is the second highest scorer in the NHL, Bedard third. They're both ahead, not by much, maybe a point or so. They're both ahead of, the big star, Connor McDavid in Edmonton. They're both ahead of him. How do you keep him off the Olympic team?
Brandon says, really hope Harris comes back at least one more year. He's coming back, Brandon. We got him. Just lock that in. Buy the jersey. And Dean in Regina says, I've been to that amphitheater in Verona. It's pretty cool. Riders need to do everything to keep MLS. He's as good as any receiver in the CFL, Canadian or American.
I thought he was going to say Riders need to try and play there.
Yeah. Let's go. Verona road trip. Now there's a road trip. It's the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskie Today on CKRM with your host, Ryan Young, offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists in an industry that moves fast. Stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news, crisis and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at SaskieToday.com. Saskie Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture. Sponsored by Affinity Credit Union on 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
Good afternoon. Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery. Now, you think back to the summertime. Maybe you were one of those kids that went to the Yorkton Exhibition every summer and created special memories. And now maybe you have kids of your own or grandkids that are going to the Yorkton Exhibition. Perhaps you went to the Yorkton Harvest Showdown this past fall, or any of the events that the Yorkton Exhibition puts on. You just create special memories at those things, and they want to keep that type of programming going, and you can help them out here right now with buying a ticket for the Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery. In return, you just might walk away with one of the 14 draws of $1,000, 10 draws of $500, or maybe you're going to get the big money, $100,000. There's also a 50-50 there too. Grab your tickets online, YorktonExhibition.com. That's YorktonExhibition.com, or call toll-free at 1-866-783-4800.
It's home reno season, and with that Regina wind chill, you're better off renovating than relocating. Stay productive with a little help from Freeze Tallman. From drywall and molding to installation and interior doors, they've got everything you need to renovate your space. Freeze Tallman's delivery team can also deliver right to your home if you live in Regina, Fort Capel, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Freeze Tallman's got you covered this reno season. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Winter's on its way, so why not make your move before the snow falls? Discover Venvi Renaissance, where comfort meets community in our beautifully renovated suites. Explore all we have to offer on Friday, December 5th from 1 to 4 p.m. for an afternoon of Christmas carols, snacks, and holiday drinks. Celebrate the season, meet your neighbors, and see why Venvi Renaissance is the perfect place to call home. Visit venvirenaissance.ca for more information.
For 35 years, Souls Harbor Rescue Mission has opened its doors and its heart to those who need it most. Now, during 35 days of giving, they're asking for something truly priceless. Your time. Volunteer in the kitchen, serve a meal, lend a hand. Because every hour you give makes a difference. And every volunteer is entered to win a holiday prize pack this December. Sign up to volunteer today at shrmsk.com. Because when you give your time, you give hope.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today.
Alouettes signed Canadian receiver Tyson Philpott. It's a 2-year deal. He had 61 catches for 804 yards last season. Says to be around $275,000 in hard money from 3 Down Nation. Western Hockey League tonight, Saskatchewan team, Swift Currents in Wenatchee, 8 p.m. SJHL in Weyburn, Yorkton's in town. Nipawin travels into LA to take on the Ice Wolves. Sask Male U18 AAA, also known as Midget AAA, Blazers, Moose Jaw Warriors. That's a good game. 7 p.m. in Moose Jaw. Regina Pat Canadians are in Estevan, not too shabby there also. That's an 8 p.m. puck drop. National Hockey League Canadian teams. Montreal hosting Ottawa. Toronto's in Florida. Calgary's in Nashville. We're going to talk to Eric Francis from Nashville right away. Vancouver's in Colorado. And Edmonton hosts Minnesota. Sportscage.com poll today. Do you think CFL player salaries should be made public? Vote at sportscage.com. It's for the Bundle and Save event with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together. Get $400 in cash back. Call on Reliance today. Hour 2, Eric Francis, the professor's sticking around. It is a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
This is 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere in high-res audio with the CKRM app.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. Organizers of Canadian Western Agribition are thrilled with the way this year's event turned out. For example, a record 151,037 people came to Agribition last week. CEO Sean Kindop says thousands of students also came to the event.
We have a lot of registered schools and non-registered schools, but we wanted to truly capture the amount of youth that were coming through our education pavilion. So we actually had somebody greeting everybody with a counter, and we had over 16,000 youth that came through our education pavilion, which is incredibly special.
He notes the Maple Leaf Finals Rodeo had 3 sold-out nights, including 2 that were sold out in advance. A Moose Jaw Wellness Center is facing new questions at the Saskatchewan Legislature this week after the death of American ALS patient Susie Silvestri, who paid $84,000 U.S. for treatment. The Dr. Goodenow Restorative Health Center, run by Dr. Dan Goodenow, is under scrutiny after CBC News reported after a media report that Silvestri died alone in hospital. NDP critic Jared Clark says she begged for a feeding tube and couldn't afford it. Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell says the centre is a private business and urged the College of Physicians and Surgeons to review the case. The TC Douglas Building in Regina has earned Rick Hansen Foundation Accessibility Certification, becoming the 3rd Saskatchewan government building to reach this standard. The province says the August 30th certification shows its commitment to inclusive and accessible spaces. Minister David Merritt says the work supports the goals in the Saskatchewan Accessibility Plan and the Accessible Saskatchewan Act. Minister Terry Jensen says this helps build safer and more inclusive communities. The building had strong accessibility features with added signage and improved parking stalls. A former fire-based supervisor with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says he quit his job out of frustration as a wildfire tore through a northern village earlier this summer. Trevor Seawap says he was based out of Pelican Narrows and offered to send helicopters to help save Denair Beach before agency officials declined his proposal. He says they also ignored other ideas suggested to fight the fire, which eventually destroyed about half of the community of 700 people.
No one would listen. No one would listen to the. I am an older guy. The guys that run in the office are just like young guys, and because they're sitting in the office in a higher seat than me, then they just don't want to listen.
Public Safety Minister Tim McLeod has said the fire was extremely aggressive and the agency fought it with everything it could. Housing Minister Gregor Robertson is questioning a new analysis predicting government efforts will only fill a small housing gap. The Parliamentary Budget Office says Build Canada homes will likely only boost housing starts by just over 2%. Robertson admits he has yet to read through the report, but he tells reporters he suspects it doesn't include the federal budget's $51 billion local infrastructure fund and other efforts to stimulate housing spending from the provinces and the private sector. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Weather tonight clearing and a low down to minus 22. Tomorrow mostly sunny, a high of minus 13. Tomorrow night becoming cloudy, some snow showers late in the area and a low down to minus 18. Thursday, mostly clouded, some isolated snow showers again in the area and a high of minus 2, but windy out of the northwest, 25 to 40, gusting over 50. Friday looks partly to mostly cloudy and a high of minus 10. And Saturday, mix of sun and cloud and a high of minus 14. Currently in downtown Regina, it's partly cloudy. It's minus 9, but it feels like minus 17.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Like he said, we are on the radio, but we're also streaming and we're on YouTube where you can watch it. So if you're driving around listening in the radio or on the stream, just picture an obsidian green rider toque with other greens and some stripes, little pom-pom on the top. We're giving this away today. It's brand new. It's got the tag. I didn't wear it. I wouldn't risk head lice or anything else here. So
Barney,
it's got the price on there. We got to cross that off.
You keep looking at that toque repeatedly, and I know deep down you want that toque.
Yeah, I like wearing toques. It's a sharp looking toque. The professor Don Hewitt, former CTV sports director, is with me. Colson's got us on the board. Okay, huge news before we get to Eric Francis in Nashville. Out of the CFL.
This is stunning.
A real noodle scratcher, as I like to say.
Stunning, I think.
According to 3 Down Nation, the Toronto Argonauts have hired longtime Calgary Stampeders coach and general manager John Hufnagel in a senior advisory role. Sources have confirmed to 3 Down.
74 years young, and that proves what there's been a lot of suspicion about, that it's a mess in Toronto, and he's obviously been brought in to clean it all up.
Why do you want to walk into that mess? You're 74. Things are good in Calgary. You get to wake up staring at the mountains. Your stadium's a bit of a...
The challenge of it. I mean, there's a big challenge there for him, and he's probably missing that challenge in Calgary because he's sort of semi-retired. His son is still head of U.S. Scouting, and and player personnel. But yeah, he's 74 years young and he wants the challenge. But again, everybody's saying, what kind of a mess is going on up there? Upstairs from the coaching areas and on up with pinball, etc. Well, there obviously was a mess, and you wonder, okay, who ordered this? Was it Keith Pelly? Was it Keith Pelly?
Red?
Well, was it Keith Pelly who just is now looking after the Argonauts? Has he looked at this situation, first year where he could make an impact on being the head man and looking over the Argos, as he said, something's amuck here. I'm bringing in old Huffnagel.
Senior advisor.
But it's I never thought he'd take another football job either. But Wally Bono, he did it a few times, and why not Huffnagel, I guess.
74 years old, and you're saying he wants a challenge. I'm 48, and I'm almost done with challenges. I want easy stuff. The challenge ship has sailed. But that's super.
It's crazy story.
Very interesting. Very, very, very. We got Glen Suitor in hour 3. So we'll talk to him a bunch about that. Also, I missed this in the ticker. I know a lot of you curling fans out there are wondering. Bruce Corte, 8-1 over Yukon today at the Senior Curling Championships. And the other one, Sutherland from Saskatoon, Amber Holland lost 7-4 to BC. So Holland's 3-1, Corte's 4-0. Corte has a date with Newfoundland Labrador at 5 p.m. our time. So there's some curling news, some CFL news. We'll keep it abreast. Don't forget in hour 3, late hour 2, Colson's saying, late hour 2, he's pointing at me. We're going to do PumpJacks Cathedral trivia.
He was pointing at you.
$50, PumpJacks Cathedral. You're going to have to call in. The question will be based around Toronto Argonauts head coaches. That is the hint. So you have to call in.
And you fooled me on that one, which isn't hard, but you did fool me.
No, I thought for sure you were going to get it too. You were close.
No, I didn't.
All right. Let's get talking hockey. He's in Nashville. Eric Francis. Here we go.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the Sportscage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer.
Eric, do you ever cross paths with John Huffnagel in Calgary?
Yeah, I see Huff at all sorts of functions. He's still a man in the community, doing what he does, and yeah, I see Huff all the time.
I wonder why would a guy want to leave Calgary and what he's got there for. And I know you're not the CFL insider. That's a weird one. Go to be a special advisor in Toronto.
Well, special advisors got to be the easiest gig in the world, right? You're not accountable really for anything. It's like hockey operations. The guy I always just say to Brian Burke, you got the cushiest job in sport as the director of hockey operations. You could fire 3 coaches and probably 2 general managers before everybody traced this mess back to you. And I'd say the same sort of thing about special advisors. They're completely off the hook. It's a retainer. And you basically, like, Jerome McGinley is a special advisor to the Flames. Does he have to answer for anything ever? No. Yeah. He just has to answer Craig Conroy's call. That's it.
Now, is this to do you think, with how the Argos handled Chad Kelly and that situation there? Is there anything to do with it?
I have no idea. The CFL is not my thing anymore, but I did cover the Stamps for 25 years, and so I dealt with Huff a lot. And, look, the situation in Calgary right now is not, how shall I say it, not as stable as it once was. The Calgary Stampeders used to be one of the model franchises, and things have changed a lot there. The attendance is bad. The team is not great. I have a feeling that maybe he just wanted something a little different after all those years of running that thing.
Man, what a game you get to see tonight. The 8-13 Predators against the 9-14 Calgary Flames. Yeah, what do you make of that one?
Well, I figure I'll get a pretty good head start on Tootsies because this game, it's the toilet bowl, the McKenna game, whatever you want to call it. The Flames are playing better of late. I think they've got points in 7 of their last 9. They're still the second last place team in the league, so there's still a massive hole they've dug. But, look, I always love covering games here. I have to say, it's colder today here in Nashville than it is in Calgary. I didn't even know that was possible.
Wow.
It is freezing here, and but it just means you got to get inside as quick as possible when you're on Broadway Avenue there.
Now, what did Barry Trotz do wrong as the Nashville general manager? When he went there as the GM, I thought, there's a guy that's going to be a great pick. What all did he do wrong? I mean, Stamkos played with Kucherov and Point in Tampa Bay, but Barry forgot that there's no Kucherov and Point in Nashville. But where did he go wrong? Because he's been a disaster as a GM.
Yeah, it hasn't gone that well, and he kind of read the riot act to them the other day, and the game they got scored on in the first minute, so I'm not sure the message got through to the players. There actually is talk that if they lose tonight, that Andrew Burnett, this might be his last game as coach here in Nashville. We chatted with him this morning, and look, it's not good. They've had a lot of injuries, but this was not supposed to be a rebuilding time. When they signed Stamkos, this was just kind of supposed to be a retooling of sorts.
Yeah,
and it's gone to hell really in a lot of different ways. Yossi's coming back tonight. That's a big one for them. It's just nowhere near the team that it used to be. And this is nothing place to play, not just because the team was really good and one of the best blue lines in the league, but because every team that came in here would play the game pretty banged up from the night before. And
yeah,
and now I don't think any NHLers drink when they come here, so it's not a problem.
And,
yeah.
I looked down their roster, and Roman Josi, okay, know that name. Philip Forsberg, we know that name. Eric Holla, okay, I guess we know that name. Nicholas Hague, who was in Vegas, had a good run. Ryan O'Reilly, there was earlier this year in his post game, it was almost like he was like, what? Like, that buddy that marries the wrong girl and you know it, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? And then he's like, oh my God. Or vice versa, or the girl that marries the wrong guy. He was like, what am I doing here? And then you got Stamkos and Yost. There's some notable names. Ozzy Weisblatt is there as well. Is there anything like that besides the team itself, and is this the last game for Burnett? Is there anything that you're curious to see from this Nashville team?
Yeah. There's Nick Blankenburg is kind of an interesting story. He's been on a bit of a tear. He's a defenseman, and he's a real neat story, actually. He'd grown up in Michigan, I believe, couldn't get a job out of coming basically as he was 15, 16. Decides to go, he went to some camp in the AJHL, the Alberta Junior League, because they had a spring camp. They invited him to come. He'd never heard of, he was out in Okotoks, south of Calgary. He goes and plays there, and he's on a wagon of a team. The only thing he knew about the AJHL was that some guy named Keith's been drafted out of the league. And he thought, well, maybe it's not that bad. He goes there, gets a scholarship back in his home city again in college. Anyway, I love those stories where the guy had nowhere to go and just took a chance on one team, and next thing you know, he's in the league. Luke Evangelista is another guy who's playing on the top line. The guy who I'm real interested in. I think he's really starting to come into his own. I think that guy's got a big ceiling as well. So he's one guy I'll be watching probably more than anybody else. But same with Forsberg. I mean, Forsberg is still, in my mind, still a star in the league. He's only 31 years old, I believe. He's still got a lot of runway, a lot of hockey to play. But this year, even he's been terrible. So I don't know what to make of this group. I'm interested to see them tonight.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, for the Flames, I was looking at goaltending statistics on NHL.com just a few minutes ago, and the number one goalie statistically in the entire NHL is Devin Cooley in a small amount of games. But, yeah, I mean, what about this guy? And Dustin Wolf is way down the list in stats now.
Well, there's no question. Cooley's been the better goalie here right now. There's also no question as to whose crease it is and who's going to be here the next 7 years with the contracts Wolf signed. So, I'll stop short of calling this a goalie controversy. I'm going to stop way short of calling it a goalie controversy. But, he started now. This will be the sixth in 6 and 7 games he's played for the Flames. But he's on a 3-0-1 run. He's playing really well. Like you said, he's got the best goals against average in the league, second best save percentage in the league. Quite frankly, he deserves to stay in the net. And look, they're going to ask for Dustin Wolf to carry the load for the next 7 years. If you got a spell here where the backup's like red hot, and maybe the hottest goalie in the league, you might want to just take a roll and keep letting them roll out. So that's what they're doing. But every time they announce them, I'm still surprised. And that was the first question I asked the coach today, like, what's your mindset? And he just said, look, it's important to show these guys if they can contribute to a team winning that you reward them. Otherwise, where are the carrots out there? So he's been given another carrot tonight, and he's earned it.
Carter Hart making his debut tonight in Las Vegas. A lot being made about that. Your thoughts?
Fascinating. Today's the first, December. He couldn't play till December. He signed that contract, 2 years times $2 million each. I think it's a big chance that Vegas is taken, but Vegas goes like nobody else in the league, and so I'm not surprised they're giving him a chance. They're a little bit insulated from all the noise surrounding a player like Carter Hart. It's still a sensitive topic. The Golden Knights say, you know what, we take all this very seriously, and he's going to be doing his work in the community to show that he's a good person, a good citizen, and he's moving forward. But I'll be fascinated to see if you can miss 2 years in the National Hockey League and just jump right in. I know you're playing on one of the best teams against one of the best defensive teams too, but I think he was 1-2 playing in Henderson he didn't exactly light it on fire. So yeah, I think it'll be the most fascinating story in the NHL tonight. I'll be watching that one close as ever.
Yeah, he's over 3 goals against in his 3 games with Henderson and 8.39 save percentage. I was watching. Yeah, it didn't look. But
he'll get better. I mean, you'd think he's going to get better. He's just very, very rusty.
Well, but like Eric says, like 2 years away from NHL is a lot different than 2 years away from playing senior hockey, right? And the guy can pick it up and go sign again in Lacombe.
A little bit, yeah.
It's...
But you knew he was going to Vegas all along. I don't know why. Just knowing Kelly McCrimmon, when Carter Hart and, what happened in the court case and whatnot became available, I don't know why. Just in what Kelly McCrimmon has done in the past, I just said, he's going to end up in Vegas. Just watch. I mean, I don't know. I can't even explain it. I just knew that's where he's going to go.
Yeah, the early reports were that they were very interested too. So, look, I do think it's a bit of an, I don't want to say an outpost, but it is far from the Canadian noise, right? There's no way you could assign him in a Canadian city. There's just no way. I will tell you something. I had a very interesting conversation with some people at Hockey Canada. Obviously, Canada's still looking for a goalie, right? We don't have a goalie for this little tournament coming up here. Wow. If the tournament even happens, you know where I'm going with this. What happens if Carter Hart sets the world on fire and is the hottest goalie in the league? Like it's such a long shot, but like there's just no way Hockey Canada could ever consider bringing Carter Hart to the Olympics. I know the national team for the Olympics is different than juniors, but come on, with all that, guys, there's no way that could ever happen.
He could run 7 straight shutouts, and it's just Hockey Canada will be like, oh, look away, nothing happened over here. What do you? The rink not being ready is fascinating. I just think it, and then today it comes out. Apparently, it's smaller than the NHL rink.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 feet. It's just unbelievable that this could happen, and like the NHL, like nobody has a tape measure over there in Italy. Look, what's fascinating is that here we are, right? A month out from naming the teams, and less than 2 months out of the tournament, and the building's not even close to being done. So, I'm fascinated to see, because there's no plan B. That's the most amazing thing. If there's no rink and they can't play, and look, I think we all think they're going to figure it out. But if they don't, there's just no tournament. So yet another impediment between Connor McDavid playing international hockey against best on best. So let's hope that even though the rink's the wrong size, that at least it's playable.
The whole thing about the Associated Press article and the no plan B, I bet you that changed within hours to be like, some people stepped in and said, all right, you're finishing this thing, and if not, what are we going to do? Because I hear Turin's 2 hours down the road. So not a lot, but then there's a lot of people that have planned to be in Milan or around there. So is Turin the backup plan? I don't know. And then the other thing, I was talking to an ice guy, Eric, because then I'm just like, they're playing the women and the men there, and that, like, don't know what. So I talked to Dave Singer yesterday, and he's done ice around the world. Great, works out of Moose Jaw now, and he said if the plant is new and good, and the facility is properly insulated or whatever, he goes, it's not a problem. They played 3 NHL games a day on the bubble in Edmonton, so he's like, you can do it. He goes, but you know, you got to test. You want to test this stuff before it's like open up the doors and here we go.
No kidding.
It's like it's going to be interesting. I'm sure you're going to ask everybody that you come across in the next little bit here about it.
Oh yeah, and you know, you think insurance-wise, I mean, there's a lot of money going to be playing on that ice rink. You know, potentially if that tournament goes off.
Oh, great point.
And if some guy gets hurt because the ice is considered to be too soft or too hard or just not playable, you know, the NHL would step in at some point, because I've covered enough of those outdoor games where they're just like, look, I know there's a lot of money right on this, or the whole hockey world is waiting to see this outdoor game, but I've covered a couple games. I know one in Edmonton where I think they postponed it a day or at least 4 or 5 hours so that it could get colder or warmer. It's just amazing. And safety is paramount, and especially with these sort of talents on the ice, you can't compromise that.
Well, the insurance companies, you have a smaller ice surface, therefore it's going to be more physical, more hitting, more crashing into each other, crashing into the boards. Or the insurance company's going to look at this smaller rink and say, you got to pay more premiums. You know what I mean?
That's never been my dealing with it. They're always really generous and say, no, pay us less. We think you're paying too much right now. So I hear what you're saying. Look, and then the debate will now start to change as everybody starts to pick their teams on bar stool napkins, and everyone will be like, well, if it's a smaller rink and it's more physical, you need Tom Wilson, don't you? No. Other people say, no, you need speedier guys to get away from those hits. Anyway, it'll be fascinating.
It sounds like you need to get on a plane and go to London, talk to somebody at Lloyd's of London about the insurance aspect of it. Just giving you ideas, buddy. I know you're grinding.
Thanks, buddy. I
grinding.
Appreciate that.
Last thing, we had someone text in, and it's hard to believe that Celebrini and Bedard are 2 and 3 in NHL points still.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's
ahead of McDavid.
Yeah, David behind McKinnon. Like, it's just amazing. Look, it's all first picks overall. It's a fascinating time to be a sports fan. And you know, the other night Bedard has 4 points. Celebrini answers with 3. Like, on an almost nightly basis, they're responding. It's tit for tat. It's amazing how one won't let the other one outdo them. And look, I can tell you, just again from talking to people at Hockey Canada and stuff, Celebrini certainly has the inside edge ahead of Bedard. But I think Bedard hears these things too and knows these things. And every time Celebrini does something, Bedard counters. And so I can't see bringing both guys. I really can't, guys. But then other people will say, well, I can't see how you can't bring them both. But I love the quote from Bill Guerin the other day. He was saying, this isn't like, we're not picking a beer league team. This is not based on what have you done for me lately. This is based on a body of work and throughout someone's career, or certainly over the last 2 or 3 years. So you're not picking a team just because a guy's been red hot the last 8 weeks. You're picking a guy because he's proven to you over time that you can trust him. So those guys still have a lot to prove to get onto this team. That's why I think only one of the two is getting onto the team.
All right.
That actually makes sense. Can I ask one more question, Barney? Or are we out of time?
Yeah.
So when you're from Saskatchewan, as you well know, Eric, half your friends live in Calgary. Half your kids live in Calgary, blah, blah, blah. So I hear lots from Flame fans who are cheering for the Flames blatantly to lose because they want Gavin McKenna. But here's a problem now, and I agree with that. Lose and get the top player. But now Kenton Verhoff from North Dakota on Sportsnet 2 is now marginally being rated ahead of McKenna, the Fort Saskatchewan defenseman. He played for Victoria last year in the Western Hockey League. He's sensational. He's like 6'4", 200 pounds at his draft age. Like, is there any chance that Gavin McKenna, if the Flames pick number 1, they wouldn't pick him?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of hockey to be played between now and then. Some people say to reports like that they're overthinking it because, look, McKenna has just been unbelievable the last 2-3 years. He's been the talk of the hockey world as the future number 1. But I'm with you. Like, I get it. He's a big, talented, right-shot defenseman. Those are very, very hard to find, and you can pluck him right away, and he could probably join your team right away. That's Verhoff. But I don't know. McKenna, I still have, I think like the Celebrini Bedard thing, I think he's going to answer to this. He's going to see that people are talking, wondering if he's number 1. I just don't see how you pass up a talent like that if you have the first pick overall. And look, a lot of water's going under the bridge before the Flames even win the draft lottery. I saw the odd. It's 18.5% right now for Nashville if they had the draft lottery, 13.5% for Calgary. So by no means are you even locked if you finish last into getting that first pick overall. But whoever takes that first pick overall, they may be facing a hell of a dilemma, which hasn't happened in a long time. It's usually consensus number 1. I still think McKenna will be that consensus number 1 by the time the draft comes along. But it is interesting that now people are questioning it.
And then you got, what is it, Fedorev from Russia, who's ranked high, and then the kid from Sweden, Jork, something like that. I don't know. Maybe you'll hear some ABBA tonight at Tootsie's post game. Hey, if you do, send me a video, please. It's cold. 2 crappy teams playing tonight. I don't know how you're going to get by, man. Like, really. There's guys covering Fort St. John Junior A tonight, and you got to grind it out there. It's hard.
No, I'll be okay. I know. Don't worry about me. I know you don't. And I'll send you more video from Tootsie's tonight if you want, Barney, just so that you know I'm safe and warm.
I wake up this morning and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, Fleetwood. Oh, some cover band doing Fleetwood Mac from Tootsie's.
And the singer was from Edmonton. Just a small
Was she?
world.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right, buddy. Have a good night. Talk to you on Friday.
Cheers, boys. Yeah, cheers.
Eric Francis,
Thanks,
live
Eric.
from Nashville.
Lots
Tough
of interesting
gig.
things, yeah. I mean, so much to talk about in the NHL, but you know what? I was just reading about Don Waddell, the general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets, complaining about all the injuries, not only on his team, but the entire NHL, because of the condensed schedule due to the Olympics. Guys are dropping like flies in the NHL, Barney, because they're playing every second night in a body contact sport. I mean,
I heard it's going to get worse,
crazy.
though. I heard it for a lot of teams, it gets worse here into
Yeah, it gets
December
more
and
condensed.
January.
Yeah.
And-
There's a
but
big
then
price they're paying.
I also heard, though, this was last week, that actually year over year, percentages of injuries is around the same. So I think a lot of people are just, and some people want to make more of it, where it's like condensed schedule, and then they're like, wait till like December and January hits, because then it's really, really condensed. And then the rink reportedly, allegedly being 3 or 4 feet shorter. Colson, you said shorter, right? Yeah. At the Olympics. Like, I can't wait for this. This is fascinating.
Actually, it's better shorter than not as wide. If it's more narrow, that's worse, I think, for injuries risk.
I think both.
But, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
It's probably both, too. Yep.
We'll get to some more of your texts in a bit. We are giving away the snazzy Rider toque today. If you're driving around listening on the radio, it's an obsidian green Rider toque. Has never been worn. It's got the tag on it, and even the price. All the text messages today, 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. What do you think about Tyson Philpott signing in Montreal? What does that mean for Sam Emilus? What do you think about the rinks in Italy, or rinka, singular? And then anything else you want to put, Bedard, Celebrini, text it in, 936-6262. The professor's here, Colson's here. It is the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. One full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
Back here in Yorkton at the Gallagher Centre, it's the Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery, and we have sold just over 800 tickets, and that's a good thing for you because the odds of you getting that $100,000 is pretty darn good. If you're playing the odds, boy, you can't get much better than that. $100,000 is what could be coming your way on Friday night. All the draws will be happening at that time right here at the Gallagher Centre. There's also going to be 14 draws of $1,000 and 10 draws of $500. There's also that 50-50 as well, which take home is just over $11,400 at this point. So let's make that phone ring here this afternoon at 1-866-783-4800. 1-866-783-4800, or buy your ticket online through YorktonExhibition.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
A bad investment decision is pretty much guaranteed to be a waste of your time and money. Today we live in an ever-changing, fast-paced world with information moving in the blink of an eye. Now, more than ever, you need to ensure that you're consistently making good investment decisions. Good investment decisions will compound your money over time and protect your capital while helping you avoid making dumb mistakes.
Don't guess with your money. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions at 546-2533. Brian specializes in helping his clients make smart investment decisions.
In an ideal world, you're already driving one. When you're behind the commands of the Fendt Ideal Combine, you experience a workhorse that takes harvest to task. Real-time monitoring, 485-bushel grain tank that unloads at 6 bushels per second, all backed by a 3-year full machine warranty, plus all scheduled maintenance ensures your harvest doesn't stop. Now that's how you grow bold. See the Ideal Fendt Combine at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
The Black Friday Monster Sale has been carried over at Extreme Hockey and Sport. Composite hockey sticks starting at just $50. Select skates up to 50% off. Gloves, protection, and helmets up to 40% off. Huge savings on Yeti. Baseball gear is 25 to 45% off, and goalie pads, blockers, and gloves starting at 25 and up to 40% off. Plus, all apparel is 25 to 40% off. It's the Monster Sale you can't afford to miss. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center and online at extremehockey.net.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Clutch Performer time. Don, you're going to start it. You've been able to track down an interesting picture. It's a nice story.
Yeah, for those people that are streaming on YouTube and seeing the visuals, the Roughriders with a great gesture last week. Tom Shepard, the former president of the team and longtime volunteer, is currently at Wascana Rehab, getting a little stronger, hoping to be out soon out of Wascana Rehab. But in the meantime, the Roughriders brought the Grey Cup to Tom at Wascana Rehab. Mark Mueller, of course, the offensive coordinator. Jeremy O'Day, the general manager, and the president and CEO, Craig Reynolds. As you can see them with Tom with the Grey Cup, and I just thought, what a wonderful thing that the Rider organization did. Tom did a lot for the team, and he was just thrilled and very popular with all the nurses and all the staff. Everybody excited. Tom was sort of a big dog because who else could get the Grey Cup at Wascana Rehab but Big Tom? So he was very popular. But, the more you see the Grey Cup around, I was at the rodeo on Thursday. They brought the Grey Cup in, and it never gets old. The more you can see the Grey Cup, knowing that it's in Saskatchewan hands, is you can't see enough of it. And I remember in 1989, Barney, Roger Aldag, who you remember, outstanding offensive guard for Saskatchewan, a legend, Plaza of Honor, etc., Hall of Famer. He made this statement after the 1989 Grey Cup game. He said, "We are bringing the Grey Cup back to Saskatchewan where it belongs." And I thought, there couldn't have been a truer statement. 5 out of 115 years that he's bang on. The Grey Cup is back where it belongs.
Hard to believe. That's a good one. That's great. We've really the cup's in rough shape, and I think
that goes back to '89.
Right here, look at this video.
Yeah,
that's how it should be when it's in Saskie. It's on a it's on a pool table. Is that a barber shop?
It should be a body shop.
Someone's getting their trim in the
shop.
background. So
fade. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's got to be.
It's never recovered since Bob Poley slept on it.
Making it look mean. Kelly Bates breaks it. Saskatchewan guy. Gotta love that. Okay, my clutch performer is Alex Singleton, the Sunday Nighter, former Calgary Stampeder. Just had surgery for testicular cancer, and now he's back with the Denver Broncos. Made a heck of a play in overtime.
He did.
Yeah, knocks the ball out right there.
Strip.
What a story.
And, was an outstanding CFL player, an outstanding NFL player, an outstanding person, and he still goes to Calgary in the summer times. Like when the Stamps have their home opener, he's always there. He still follows the CFL very closely and follows the Stampeders very closely. So he's a real ambassador for the CFL as an NFL star. And he made the comment a couple of years ago when journalists down there were asking him about the caliber of play in the CFL. He said, "It's way better than you guys realize."
Way better.
That's what he said to the journalists in the United States.
All right. You got one, Colson? No, out today? Okay. Clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. You can call 781-1077. We want to go to break here? Yeah, let's do a quick break. Then we're going to come back. We're going to talk some Pats. We're going to talk some hockey. Again, 936-6262. Giving away this toque today. All text messages. And start calling now. Yeah. Colson says start calling now. If you want to play PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia, 936-6262. 1-866-767-0620. $50 up for grabs to PumpJacks Cathedral today. If you lose, you still win a lunch. So it's win-win. And the question will be based on Toronto Argonauts head coaches now that they have their new head coach. It is the Sports Cage. Cody's live on location at the Gallagher Center. They got a full door there wrapped of Benny Walchuk. Fantastic looking. Nicest door. And Benny's a taller guy than you think in real life.
He's taller?
Yeah, he's taller, yeah. So quick break here. We'll come back. Start calling 936-6262. It is a Sports Cage.
620 CKRM on location.
Here comes Bill. Who's the guy with him?
You don't know him? That's Andrew, the opener guru from Dutch.
Guru, you say?
Yep. I saw your emergence last spring, and let's just say your openers looked tired. Their preseason program is on now. You should talk to him. We all know how cost-conscious you are.
Freaking Bill. Thinks he knows everything.
This season, get expert advice and save before the rush. Visit DutchOpeners.com. Dutch Agriculture, on farm for you.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
620 CKRM on location.
Well, it's Cody Glyden back here in Yorkton. The Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery is here, and a couple of ways where you can purchase your tickets. Stop in at the Yorkton Exhibition office here at the Gallagher Center. Buy your ticket in person if you want. You can do it online at YorktonExhibition.com. Just get your Visa or MasterCard ready and just follow the prompts. Really easy. Or you can give us a call here toll free, 1-866-783-4800, 1-866-783-4800. $100,000 is the grand prize, 14 prizes of $1,000, 10 prizes of $500, and there's a 50-50 as well. Go in with some of your buddies if you want and get your ticket that way. $100 each, 3 for $250. That number again, 1-866-783-4800.
Back to our regular spot, PumpJacks Cathedral.
You know, I thought PumpJacks was a kind of boot polish till last month.
What are you getting?
Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful.
You had me at meaty.
Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage.
And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Welcome back for Saskatchewan Lottery's main fundraiser for over 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups in Saskatchewan. The Professor Don Hewitt is with me. Colson's on the other side of the board. Colson is just now set to open up the phone lines, 936-6262 for PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia. You want to try your luck? Give us a call. It's also a toll-free number, 1-866-767-0620. And the question will be around the head coach of the Toronto Argonauts, or head coaching tenure of the Toronto Argonauts. Because really crazy news today that just came down a little while ago, Professor. John Hufnagel to join the Argonauts as in a senior advisory role. So Eric Francis, the NHL insider, puts it actually pretty good. He's like, senior advisor role is like easy street. It takes a lot of fires for everything to be traced back to you. So were things and then we heard that the Stampeders granted permission to the Argos.
Yeah, his contract was up. Hufnagel's contract doing really the same sort of thing. He was just helping his son, who's the head of player personnel for the Stampeders, Cole Hufnagel. So he may have wanted a bigger challenge, but Eric refutes that, saying there's really no challenge. But there was something amok in Toronto. Luke Mullender talked about it. Don't go to Toronto. Be interesting to hear Glen Suitor's take shortly on this show about this. But there was something going on there that wasn't quite right when Ryan Dinwiddie goes to Ottawa as the head coach and general manager from the Argonauts, where he was just the head coach, and he said, I'll have way less work to do. There's something going on. I don't know what Pinball's doing. It's just they want him to take a look at what's going on. And what I want to ask Glenn, and what you probably do too, is, is this sort of a situation where Keith Pelley, who's now overseeing the Argos with all the other teams in Toronto, every other team in Toronto except the Blue Jays. We'll see if that ever changes under Rogers. But is this Keith Pelley looking into things and saying, we need some experience and somebody... one thing Hufnagel does have very highly is ethics. And do we need somebody to look into what's going on with this team here? It's been under a little bit of a cloud ever since the Chad Kelly situation, and it's really had a cloud, I feel, and it portrayed on the field last year. I mean, they go from winning the Grey Cup to being one of the worst teams in the CFL in the snap of a finger. What all was going on there? So
yeah, it's. I don't think any of us saw that coming for sure. All right, it's time to play PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia.
It's time for Sportscage Trivia for PumpJacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
All right, Jonathan is on the line for PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia. Live music every Friday and Saturday. I'm thinking about hitting up the live music Friday night after the Pats game with some of the boys. Also, Wing Wednesday is tomorrow. Lots of draft on there. Well, the Kerwin crispy ribs. I can tell. So Johnny is on the line. Johnny, we are just setting you up here. Colson's getting you set up. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, here we go. Johnny, here is your question. It's based on the Toronto Argonauts. Now, the longest tenured Toronto Argonauts coach, was it Kent Austin, Lou Heyman, or Bob Obilovich?
I got to go with Kent Austin.
Oh, Johnny, good guess, man. I knew it was a tough one today. I knew I asked you, but don't worry, Johnny. Stay on the line. You still
and
win.
Don't worry, I got it wrong too. I thought it was Leo Cahill. So
yeah, you thought it was Leo Cahill.
You and I are together.
Johnny, thanks for playing, my man. You still win a lunch if that's okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
Right on. There's Johnny. Yeah, I know it's a tough one. Tough one to ask. The Argonauts are making news though, and again, we were talking to Glen Suitor coming up in a bit. But what do you think about Mike Miller being hired as their new head coach? I almost feel like it was between him and Costanza, the last two.
Yeah, well, I think if they're going to hire internally, it was definitely Mike Miller for the job they did with Chad Kelly, who a couple of years ago was the most outstanding player in the CFL. The job they did with Arbuckle in the Grey Cup game a couple of years ago, and Arbuckle was the most outstanding player in that game. And then the job he did with Arbuckle all this season. I mean, he's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL. He's obviously the guy internally that they had to pick because he's a quarterback whisperer, and he gets the most out of his quarterbacks. And, where is he going to go if he doesn't get that job? Well, he's going to Ottawa. They'll probably be with Ryan Dinwiddie because Ryan Dinwiddie would take him back at any time. And so I think it was actually a good pick for the Toronto Argonauts, and we'll see where things go from there.
Hoping to have, shifting gears here, I'm hoping to have young up-and-comer in the WHL ranks tomorrow, Chase Serkan from Regina on the show. Having a
Speed City.
Great year in Brandon. Shifting here to WHL, I just want to look at the standings for a bit and get your take on it. Regina Pats, they go on that tough U.S. road trip. It's lengthy. If you would have told me they're coming home winless,
lengthy is an understatement.
Wenatchee, struggling
and
this
Wenatchee
year.
Wild. I think part of that. Go ahead, Barney.
Unfortunate. Let's keep in mind. I think I'm going to watch them Friday night with my eyeballs. See what they play.
Mm-hmm.
Young team, and with younger team and a young group, and there's some older kids there trying to lead the way. It's tough. It is a tough league. I watched them play Calgary a few weeks ago, and Calgary was so good. And they won in overtime. And they had no business being in that game. Somehow they gutted it out. So that's where it surprised me that they went on the road on the U.S. swing and didn't pick up any points.
Well, I mean, one thing we know, 2 teams have been added to the western side. There's now, I believe, one more team in the west than there is in the east.
One more in the west, yeah.
Wild, and then so if you're going through the U.S. teams, you've got another game to play. Then the Penticton Vs are now in the BC side. So next year when the Pats or the Warriors or the Broncos go through BC, they've got another game to play. That I can't recall. I didn't count the exact days. I can't recall Western swing that long that the Pats have ever made because they clearly ran out of gas. But I think I would say this. I am surprised when you go back to John Paddock and as the head coach and general manager when he was in the Memorial Cup and when he went to the Western Hockey League final 2 years in a row. Of course, they were the host of the Memorial Cup, but they had a good team, competed well in the Memorial Cup, just ran out of gas themselves or they might have won it. But something was, happened during that spell of time where they didn't have enough draft picks or they weren't making great draft picks or whatever was happening. They have fallen behind and they're still trying to catch up. And last year, Alan Miller tried to make some changes and they went a lot younger. So I know Dale Derkach, the current Pats GM, thought they'd make the playoffs this year, or he felt that this past summer because they'd be another year older from the younger players that Miller brought in last year, but it hasn't worked. And he's had Dale has, he's circled or he's penciled in a few older players to try to help that out. But yeah, they got into a bit of a hole there, and they're still digging out of it. And I think of all people, Dale Derkach will eventually dig out of this.
The playoffs are not. We're only beginning of December here. Playoffs are still within reach. Although when your streak is 0-6, you're sitting with 21 points. You got Moose Jaw with 26, and they're 6th in the conference. That close, 6, 7, and 8 is going to be a dogfight to get into the playoffs, and then you want to probably have that 6th seed so you don't have to play Edmonton or PA. How about PA? Curtis Hunt's got going on up there. Like
one of the best general managers in the Western Hockey League and a best friend of Dale Derkach. So you know that those two are exchanging notes all the time, and that's why one of the many reasons why I believe Dale will turn the Pats into a winning organization, just like Curtis Hunt did in Prince Albert. But yeah, Prince Albert and another high draft pick coming along that from the Raiders is going to go high in the NHL draft this year. So Curtis Hunt, like I said, he's one of the top GMs in the entire league, and PA is going to take another go at it.
I love, it's going to get really interesting here in the next little bit. Like I said, Chase Serkant from the Brown and Wheat Kings coming up on the show tomorrow. It is a Sports Cage. We're on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Get ready to cheer on some serious young talent. It's the Play 92 Art Auction with McBid's Auctioneers and McMotor Sales. 2 local school classes are going head-to-head in a friendly art showdown, all to raise funds for Creative Kids Saskatchewan, the charity that helps kids access life-changing creative experiences in theater, art, dance, heritage, and music. Their artwork is proudly displayed at the Connexus Art Center's Winter Wonderland, and you can bid on your favorites at mcbids.ca. All proceeds support creative kids. Harvard Media is proud to support. All items will be sold December 29th.
620 CKRM on location.
Hello there, it's Cody Glyden back here in Yorkton, the Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery, and as it stands right now, about 28% sold out. 28% sold out, which is good for you as the buyer because your odds of winning that $100,000 has improved dramatically. Now, tickets are $100 each, 3 for $250. There's going to be 14 draws of $1,000 and 10 draws of $500 Friday night. So you must have your ticket in that draw drum by Friday. Right now, we are at about 28% sold out. So let's keep on going here. 1-866-783-4800. Still have a long ways to go, but like I said, if you're a ticket buyer, and I hope you are, then the odds are very good that you're going to get that $100,000. 1-866-783-4800 or online at YorktonExhibition.com.
That last-minute holiday gift exchange is coming up. And while you could hand out a card from a human fund, a Western Pizza gift card is actually real and way better. Give the gift of juicy pizza, real cheese, piles of toppings, and all your Greek favorites. So get ready for the feats of strength this season and win Christmas with a Western Pizza gift card. Western Pizza gift cards, saving holiday gift exchanges since 1976.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Year-end clearance has arrived at Crestview Chrysler, and we're blowing out all new 2025 inventory. Ram, Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Every badge, every body style. If it's a new 2025, it's marked down to move. Get up to 21 grand off select new 2025 Ram 1500s. And get up to 18 grand off select new 2025 Jeep Wranglers. Do not miss your chance to get massive savings. It's year-end clearance only at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
The Carlisle Dickens Village Festival is this weekend, December 5th and 6th. See Ebenezer Scrooge, Father Christmas, and carolers. Take a horse-drawn carriage ride and stop for high tea, the English market, and more. Details at townofcarlisle.com. 620 CKRM is giving you the chance to win a night out with Johnny Reid and PumpJacks Cathedral. Your shot at 2 tickets to Christmas with Johnny Reid at Connexus Arts Center on December 11th and a $100 gift card to PumpJacks for a pre-show supper. Draw December 8th. Listen for your chance to qualify. And get in the holiday spirit with Merry Christmas, Baby, Rory Allen's tribute to Elvis. 3 nights, December 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Casino Regina Show Lounge. Grab your tickets at the box office or CasinoRegina.com.
For more information, visit 620CKRM.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Crazy news out of the CFL today. The Toronto Argonauts have hired longtime Calgary Stampeder coach and general manager John Huffnagel in a senior advisory role. Montreal signed Canadian receiver Tyson Philpott also today, 2-year deal. He had 61 catches, 804 yards last year. Sounds to be about $275,000 in hard money. Western Hockey League Swifts in Wenatchee tonight. SJ Weyburn welcomes Yorkton Nipawins in L'Orange. Midget AAA, Saskatoon Blazers, Moose Jaw. Great tilt in the jaw. 7 p.m. Regina Pats Canadians are in Estevan. Canadian teams on the ice in the National Hockey League. Ottawa's in Montreal, Toronto's in Florida, Vancouver travels to Nashville, Vancouver's in Colorado, and Edmonton welcomes Minnesota. Canadian Senior Curling Championship. Saskatchewan's Bruce Corte, 8-1 over Yukon today, moves to 4-0. He's on the ice right away against Newfoundland Labrador. And Amber Holland lost 7-4 to British Columbia. She's now sitting at 3-1. Don't forget about the Sportscage.com poll. Do you think that CFL player salaries should be made public? You can vote at Sportscage.com. The Black Friday sale right now at Extreme Hockey and Sport. Price match guarantee, and they are local and support local. Extreme Hockey and Sport and Umbrella Marketing, they got you hooked up. Hour 3 is going to start with Glen Suitor. Lots to talk about with suits. Professor's going to stick around. Colson's here. It is a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Just over 151,000 people attended Canadian Western Agribition, setting a new record. CEO Sean Kindop credits the success of Agribition to the team behind him.
We're working very hard to continue to make sure that we're adding new things to Agribition. We're working with all of our partners to make sure the guest experience continues to elevate. We put on Agribition for our livestock exhibitors and our trade show exhibitors and the community, and I think we're doing a really good job.
He also thanked the more than 400 volunteers who helped and to all the visitors who supported the event. The Saskatchewan NDP wants answers after American ALS patient Susie Silvestri died following time at the Dr. Goodenow Restorative Health Centre in Moose Jaw. Clark says Silvestri paid thousands and begged for a feeding tube before dying alone in hospital. Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell says the centre is not part of the health system and is not regulated by the ministry. He says the College of Physicians and Surgeons has power under the Medical Profession Act to act. The province will also ask consumer regulators to review the business and its services. Saskatchewan's opposition NDP is proposing a bill to ensure the province develops a comprehensive plan strategy to fight wildfires. The proposal comes after a northern village was ravaged by a fire earlier this summer. NDP First Nations Affairs critic Leroy LaLiberty says the province needs to do better.
This was a perfect example as to what happens when you don't have a plan. The disaster, all of the, we had no supports. There wasn't anything in place for the people to be supported. People were in scramble mode.
Former Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency Fire Base Supervisor Trevor Seawap says he quit his job out of frustration that officials weren't doing enough to fight the blaze. The Parliamentary Budget Office says in a new analysis that Build Canada homes will only fill a small gap in the housing market. Finance Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne defended historical housing spending in Budget 2025 on his way out of a cabinet meeting today. He told reporters he respects the Budget Office's work while adding there should be subtle distinctions.
Sometimes you need a bit of nuance. In a sense, what they're saying is in 28, 29, but, without getting technical, is obviously there's a number of decisions that will have to be taken from now to 28, 29. What we presented to Canadian is I would say, an historical investment in infrastructure already.
Champagne says future budgets will update spending priorities in the coming years and caution people not to prejudge any of these commitments. And Mosaic is putting $4 million into trades and workforce development across Saskatchewan. The funding supports upgrades at Sask Polytech, Suncrest College, and a new applied arts lab in Churchbridge. Mosaic says it continues looking for new partners, scholarships, and ways to help more learners enter the mining sector. The company says these investments reflect a long-term commitment to Saskatchewan communities and to the province's mining future. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
620 CKRM on location.
It's Cody Gleidenbach here in Yorkton. The Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery is on right now. The Yorkton Exhibition has done so many fun things over the history of this organization, which dates back a long, long ways. One of the first things I think of is the Yorkton X every summer. As a kid, my parents always used to take me up to this one and just created a lot of special memories for me and for my cousins as well. And, there's a lot of stories like that. Maybe you were one of those that used to come to the Yorkton X all the time. Maybe your kids or your grandkids or your nieces or your nephews are coming. Maybe you participate in the Harvest Showdown every year here in Yorkton. Well, they want to keep that type of programming going, and that's why they're having this very important fundraising lottery right now where you could win $100,000. Right now, it's about 28% sold. The total 50-50 right now, just over $24,000. Tickets are $100 each, 3 for $250, 25 chances to win, 1-866-783-4800, 1-866-783-4800, or online at YorktonExhibition.com.
This holiday season, in the red corner, weighing in at jolly and unstoppable, it's Santa Claus.
Santa's laying the smackdown on slow internet and bad cell coverage. Because at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, the deals are off the ropes. Get the latest cell phone, SaskTel MaxStream, and lightning fast internet that'll make your holidays legendary. So tag in the pros at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
The threat for nuisance flurries diminishes through the night. The wind also diminishes through the night. With a clearing sky, temperature backs down to around minus 22 tonight.
Brought to you by Line X
At
Regina.
times, will still feel like well into the minus 20s to near minus 30. Lighter wind in the morning, so at our coldest, the wind chill is not going to be quite as impactful. And the wind stays light through the day on Wednesday. Mostly sunny sky, the high around minus 13. We'll back down a few degrees, then climb again through the night Wednesday night, rising up to minus 8 by Thursday morning and minus 2 through the day. We could see a few flurries and light snow showers, not a major snowfall for us, not likely much in the way of accumulation, but a warmer day and a windy day. The snow will be blowing around quite a bit. Those light flurries can fly easily. Partly to mostly cloudy Friday night near minus 10. There's a chance for a couple of flurries Friday night into Saturday. Otherwise, a partly sunny day Saturday with a high down to minus 14. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Matt's Furniture. Visit mattsfurniture.ca.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till December 10th, it's the Black Friday sale. Buy any 2 qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag kitchen appliances and save $150. Buy 3 or more qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag kitchen appliances and save $300. And buy any qualifying washer and dryer and save $150. See in store for details and list of qualifying models. The Black Friday sale is on now at Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
For 40 years, the team from Line-X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line-X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage. Wouldn't that be nice if it was Thursday? Be wheeling our way into the
early day from the weekend.
Into
Barney.
the weekend. I know. I'm so excited to give away this toque. You're watching the stream today. All text messages. Colson's going to do the Wheel of Winning. Chance to win this brand new obsidian green mixed with some other green Rider toque. I didn't even know how we started that in hour one. And then I said, well, let's give away a toque. And we had one here. We have a tickle trunk of some other stuff to give away as we go along. The professor, former sports director, CTV Regina. Don Hewitt's with me. Colson's over there. We talked WHL. I know we had some people mention about SJHL. SJHL report coming up on Thursday. Again, the league's interesting this year.
It's stronger than ever. I mean, Melfort could have won the last 2 national championships very easily, just a few inches away both times. So the SJ is a very strong hockey league when you compare it how it's been doing.
Flin Flon and Kindersley played on the weekend, and they're 2 of the top teams, especially in the sportscage.com power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 and number 2. But Kindersley had to go up to Flin Flon. That's Whitney Forum. I've never been there. They tell me it's tough to play. So we'll have to talk to Benny Walchuk on Thursday, and the SJHL report always brought to you by Chad Reach.
Have you been to Flin Flon itself? It's a very interesting place because it's built on a rock.
Yeah, no, I want to go. I don't want to go in the winter.
I've been there fishing,
Yeah, I want to go in.
But it's very interesting to see that city on stilts, really.
Yeah. The SJHL report is going to be brought to you by Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor for GP Financial and Avisa Wealth, coming up on Thursday. If you missed any of the show today so far, go back and listen to it in podcast form, or you can watch it on YouTube. As always, easy to find wherever you find podcasts. So hour 3 here, Glen Suitor standing by. And then if you missed the interview with Ben Hebert, Regina's own Ben Hebert, who's going back to the Olympics. His team, Brad Jacobs' team, won the Olympic curling trials on the weekend. So Benny gave us the first interview. He's just coming off a 2-day bender.
That was an exclusive you got, Barney. First one that he's done since winning the Olympic berth.
Such a fun chat always with Benny. So that's coming up, and don't go anywhere. We got more to come as well. All right, Colson, if he's there, let's talk to Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Glenn, come on. Like, you're telling me John Hufnagel, did you see this coming? John Hufnagel, Toronto, as a senior advisor.
Not really, no. Except for I will say this at Grey Cup. We were talking that in Grey Cup, there like sometimes you just hear stuff come out of the walls. You're walking into your hotel room, and the walls are talking to you as you walk by. And one of the walls said to me that John Huffnagel might be retiring at the end of this season and just stepping away completely, which I thought was interesting. I wouldn't report it until I did some digging to find out whether it was true or not, because you can't just go by the wall talking.
Are you sure you weren't staying at the Coachman on Victoria with the walls talking like that?
They're saying different things. they're saying different things that scare you. But no. So I'm happy for Toronto, to be honest. I think this is a great move by the Argos, by Keith Pelly, to bring a pure football guy, and a guy who's had success in both leagues, by the way, both at the coaching level and GM and management level, and can really bring sort of stability to the Argos situation.
And I was going to ask you, this sounds like a Keith Pelly move. It likely is, as you're saying and confirming. And, when you think about it, is such the big sports down in Toronto. And when Rogers gets control of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, and the way they're elevated Keith Pelly to really overseeing every pro team in Toronto, every team except the Blue Jays, and who knows how that may even change, but it's great to see that Keith Pelly still cares about the CFL and was very involved in the CFL in the past. And, there would be a concern otherwise that maybe the Sports and Entertainment would just sort of let the Argos swim away or wouldn't pay that much attention to them, whatever. But that won't happen with Keith Pelly because he has the passion for this league.
Yeah, in fact, Don, I worked for Keith. At the beginning of my career at TSN, Keith Pelly was in the executive producer role.
Okay.
And I will never forget one of the first meetings that we ever had with Keith at the top of the room, talking to the entire crew, saying that we will respect Canadian football like we do any other sport that we cover. And he was adamant and would be watching, and there would be accountability when it came to, making sure that the coverage of Canadian football was at the same level of respect as any other league in the world. So that passion and that the backing of Canadian football is sincere for Keith. It really is. So I'm not surprised. I heard you guys earlier talking about the what's going on in Toronto and what has been going on. I mean, I think it's not necessarily that they've been pushing the team away or pushing them in the wrong direction. I think it's just sort of a lack of manpower at times. After John Murphy and Mike Clemens, who else is doing a lot of the paperwork and contracts and everything else that has to do with a professional football team, and how many guys, 70 guys and coaches and training staffs and all of that. I mean, there is a lot of work to do there. And not that Huffnagel is going to step in and handle that kind of thing. But it sounds to me like right now, Keith Pelly is saying we've got to bring some more support staff in for our coaching staff.
And more money, more budget.
Yeah, budget and scouting staff. When you look at the other teams in the league, much more in-depth scouting staffs and different people around North America that are looking for talent, and Toronto's got to improve in that area too.
It's amazing though. They're a year away from winning the Grey Cup, and we're talking to them like they're second-class franchise. It's somewhat interesting, but. You said it was, I was leaning towards Costanza, and you thought it was going to be Miller in Toronto, and it is.
Yeah. I just, when you look at the resume and you look at, first of all, this is a good hire for the two reasons off the top are that he's been part of a winning organization in the last 3 years. They've won the championship. So he has seen that formula. He understands in our league what type of players he needs, what type of defense he needs, those kind of things to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important right out of the gate. And Mike Miller has that because he's been there with Dinwiddie. And then your relationship as a head coach with your quarterback. I believe there are times when that is overlooked by management when they hire a new head coach. And it doesn't mean you have to be a quarterback coach. I mean, Corey Mace has proven that. But it does mean that you have to be able to build a strong relationship of trust between your starting quarterback and your head coach. And he and Chad Kelly have an excellent relationship. You know, I mean, Mike Miller and Chad Kelly are professional relationship, but it goes back deeper than just their time in the regular season in Toronto. So it's a good relationship, a strong relationship. Chad Kelly, if he's returning, that's going to be important. And as I mentioned last week, part of what was pulling me towards him all the time, once they got past the Michael O'Shea sort of level, and they realized that they're going to have to look at the assistants moving up, including their own, but outside of their own as well. Once that started happening, I was thinking, in Toronto, for some reason, I don't necessarily agree with it, but for some reason in Toronto, if you have NFL on your resume, you come with more credibility, and therefore you're more likely to be hired than a guy who doesn't have the NFL on his resume, and Mike Miller does.
That's the Toronto mentality. So I would think, Glenn, if they hadn't hired Miller as head coach, he was going to Ottawa with his buddy Dinwiddie. I think they were in a situation, I'm guessing anyway, that you either give him the head coaching job or you say goodbye to a guy that's got a tremendous resume.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it sounded like the interviews went very well. I mean, Mike Clemens was talking about how impressed he was with his own assistants that interviewed, and Mike being the leading candidate in that regard. So, yeah, I think I'm not sure if that specifically came up, but there is great loyalty between Mike Miller and Ryan Dinwiddie. I mean, in an article that I read that was written a couple of years ago in Toronto about Miller, he was talking about how Dinwiddie had said when they left Montreal that if he got an opportunity again as a head coach, that he would bring Mike Miller in. And Miller said, I'm paraphrasing, that people say that all the time and it never happens. But for Dinwiddie, it did, and that created a real bond between those two. So Don, it's probably a good theory that was part of this decision, that they didn't want to lose him.
Press coverage of Glen Suitor for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. What do you think about Tyson Philpott and the alleged number, the reported number that he's getting to stay on with the Montreal Alouettes? And then what is that going to mean for one Samuel Emelis and the Riders?
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And keep pushing that elastic. Keep pushing the envelope if you can. Keep making it tough for GMs. And I know the value of Tyson when I talked to Jason Moss throughout the season, and when Davis Alexander and Tyson were hurt at the same time. And he would talk about both of those players with that same level of importance to their franchise. And that's unusual, because the quarterback, when you're talking to coaches, usually is in a different category of discussion. But for Jason, it was both of them were that important to their offense, and you've seen what he can do. So, and here's the other aspect of the salary being pushed. MLS, yes, it's good for all Canadian receivers that are those 1,000-yard potential guys, or that have had 1,000-yard seasons. It'll push the elastic for them too, but it's bigger than that. And I hope American players understand this, that as that gets pushed by the Canadian, because there is an inherent value there. If you have a great Canadian starter, that's important, and that's why their salaries get pushed and bumped. Some Americans look at it a very sort of face value kind of thing and say, well, that doesn't seem fair because I played at Ohio State, he played at Guelph. How come he's getting paid more than I am? And what they should be thinking is, if you take Canadians out of the mix, if you take a Tyson Philpott who's demanded this level of salary and you take him out of the mix and you make it the USFL or the XFL, those salaries are going to come way, way down. Across the board, they're going to come way down. Because owners will say, I'll just go get a different receiver from Ohio State or Alabama or wherever. Because there is that kind of supply down there. So the Canadian ratio, and I've talked to some guys that are involved with the PA. I've talked to some guys that are former, members of the PA that are now sort of understanding the importance with regards to salaries continuing to be pushed upwards with Canadian players, and that it affects the American salary too, in a positive way.
Yeah.
So it'll just, it floats the boats a little bit higher for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, league revenue is still going up despite, just marginally, but it's going up $100,000 approximately more for the players this year, Glenn. So I guess that's good. But getting back to the commissioner, if I could for a second, Stuart Johnston, who wants to open up all the salaries of all the players in the league and give the fans all the information. I just like the way he talks about transparency there. And what do you think about the pros and cons of making public all the players' salaries in the CFL?
Yeah, I'll respectfully disagree with those who believe this is a good idea at this point. The reason that they believe, I think anyway, the reason that they believe that it's a good idea is because it'll create discussion when you're building your fantasy teams, and it creates, it creates another avenue of fan engagement, and that's the idea. The problem that I have with it, and I've had this for quite some time. There's a few reasons, but one is, and most importantly, that perception matters. And I have never been in the camp where, as long as people are talking about you positively or negatively, it's a good thing. I have never been in that camp. If people are kicking you, it's not a good thing that they're talking about you. One of the reasons that the commissioner changed the missed single point, eliminating the single point on a missed field goal, one of the reasons he did that was because he wanted to get rid of this, way to kick the league. The people that...
It was a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, for some reason, there are a lot of people in the country that not only don't like Canadian football, but they want to kick it. And for those people, a missed field goal that you win by on a single point is ridiculous. It's a joke. And part of the reason for changing that rule was to get rid of that opportunity, that possibility that someone could make it a punchline. Well, if we still have entry-level salaries that, let's just be honest, aren't overly impressive, entry-level stuff. I mean, if you're Tyson Philpott, you're feeling pretty good about your paycheck right now. And you can get there. You can get to a really nice professional football paycheck. But in our league, there are entry-level numbers that will give the opportunity for some of these people that want to kick the league to go after it. There's that aspect of it. The other one is, I've never been one to give sort of make the connection between excellence and somebody's paycheck. I mean, how many buffoons are multimillionaires? How many people bought Apple stock thinking they were getting an agricultural,
applesauce company.
An applesauce company or an apple something, and then woke up one morning multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
but we're still buffoons. So I don't, I really don't connect money and a paycheck with excellence. So I just, if we're all making $20 million a year, $30 million a year, and we sit here on the radio and go, hey, everybody, guess how much money I make doing this job? I don't even like it when I hear hockey players or baseball players or whatever talk about it. I think, really? Like, so all those fans that are spending all that money to go and watch you play, and you want to talk about the multi-million dollars that you make. Let me ask you guys this question. Would you do your jobs any differently if we were down in New York City and Manhattan right now talking about the Giants and the Yankees and doing the exact same show we're doing right now, but we're doing it in New York and we're all making $30 million a year doing it? Would you change how you approach your job?
Well,
Yes.
probably if you did. Well, if you did, you probably wouldn't be successful when you think about it. Anyway, go ahead.
Because I wouldn't have my other job, for starters, so I'd have more time on this job.
Well, you would change outside. You would buy a bigger house, and you'd get rid of your other job, Barney.
I'm
and
not
all
a
that.
house guy.
But here's what you wouldn't do. You would prepare the same.
Yeah,
you would
that's
present
right.
the same. You because if you're not,
Barney's working.
Do you have a, hold on? Do you have some sort of job lead for me, or are you just blowing smoke here?
Well, I'm letting you know, because honestly, if you would have said yes, I would do my job completely differently, then shame on you for letting down all of us on this team that are presenting this show right now. So
No, I agree, Glenn. Yeah.
Yeah. So this whole thing that we need to talk about salaries, I don't think
I
it's.
get your point.
Here's one other smaller issue I have with it. It's smaller, but it's still important. In the world of perception matters, if an American down in Texas sees a headline of an entry-level CFL salary, he might not go to that workout camp because he says, you know what, I can make more money doing other things down here. I'm not going to go and keep this football dream alive. And we're going to miss out on that player and his skill set because he had the wrong perception of how much is paid in the league. And that, when it's all public and out there, that becomes a problem.
I'm on the fence on this one, and Colson's saying we're up against the clock here.
Can I ask one question?
If he can keep it, you guys got a minute.
Well, finish what you're going to say.
No, I get to talk to him again on Thursday.
Bill Baker, the former general manager, Bill Baker, the Undertaker, told me once when he was the GM. He said if a guy's in the locker room and he makes $60,000 and that's all he knows, he's perfectly happy. Until he finds out the guy in the cubicle next to him makes $70,000, then he's miserable.
That's life. That's how I think.
Yeah,
right.
but I was in a negotiation with Bill Baker, and here's how it went down. He laid out all the DB's contracts in front of me, so I could see the number of every single DB there, and then he said, "Here's where you fit in, which is based on your years of experience, etc." And that's why. So you don't have to guess. You don't have to wonder. This is what everybody makes. You fit in nicely. And if you don't like it, and you'll know Bill Baker, if you don't like it, there's the door.
Yes. Those are great bosses to work for.
And how did you feel
those
about
are great bosses to work for. That was the last question.
Okay.
We got to pick come on Thursday. Get to talk to him on Thursday. And Glenn played through the grindy times where they didn't have a lot of money around here. You had to work bingos, I think. Yeah. I think you're working the Nevada stand.
There's three. By the way, just on a closing note, there's 3 CFL players currently getting a look in Minnesota with the Vikings. One of them's Dante Myers, the receiver from Saskatchewan. and you look at the way the Vikings are playing, and they're bringing in all these CFL players. Tomorrow, it'll be announced that Glen Suitor is working out with the Minnesota Vikings because they're so terrible
in the broadcast
and horrible.
booth.
They need anybody they can get.
In the broadcast booth, and then you're hiring me as your field guy. I'll dress that better if I'm your
30
on-field
million
guy.
a year, Barney. Barney, 30 million a year.
Glenn,
how does that sound?
Glenn, give me half of that. Give the other half to charity. Let's talk on Thursday, buddy.
You got it.
Press coverage with Glen Suitor. It's brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They're going to treat you right every time at Bronco Plumbing and Heating. 781-2090. It is a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
It's time to get into the holiday spirit. It's the 37th annual Christmas card for MS. Join CKRM December 7th and December 14th as we fill your home with holiday requests. To make a request, all it takes is a simple donation to the MS Society of Saskatchewan. Visit CKRM.com or call in during the show, because giving back is the true spirit of the season. The 37th annual MS Musical Christmas Card, proudly supported by Pastel Pioneers. Only on your home for Christmas magic. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
We're here in Yorkton. It's Go to Glyden at the Gallagher Center. Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery is on right now. And how would you like $100,000 now? You probably have some kids or some grandkids involved in sports. Perhaps they're in hockey or they're in indoor soccer. Maybe they're in curling or broom ball. Whatever they're into, it adds up real quick. You got the travel costs, you got those accommodation costs, you've got those registration fees, all that type of stuff. And, it's great for the kids, keeps them active, keeps them out of trouble, but it can be a little hard on the old pocketbook. And $100,000, I know, this time of year would be really handy. Same with some of the other prizes here. 14 prizes of $1,000, 10 prizes of $500. There's that 50-50 and $100,000. But you've got to have your ticket by Friday night. The draws are Friday at 9. 1-866-783-4800. 1-866-783-4800. Or online at YorktonExhibition.com.
Hey, farmers and ranchers, do you want the next generation to know and care more about agriculture? Donate to the Acres for Education campaign by Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan to help get students out of the classroom to experience agriculture. This year, every dollar donated will be matched up to $25,000 thanks to JGL, so your gift will make twice the difference. Donate at aitc.sk.ca/Acres for Education. When it comes to your financial future, do you know where you're headed or what happens when you retire? That's where Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Oviso Wealth come in. They offer independent, local advice, smart client-focused planning for every stage of life. Visit gpfinancial.ca. Your family, your plan. With Chad Reach, 306-584-2755.
Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Oviso Wealth, a division of Oviso Financial Inc. Out here in southern Saskatchewan, the sun shows up for work every day. Might as well make it earn its keep. That's where Keln Solar comes in. These folks travel all over the province helping people put solar on their homes, farms, and cabins. They're local guys, Sask-born, Sask-raised, and not going anywhere. Except, to your place. Now's the time to start planning for spring and summer 2026 bookings. Give Keln Solar a call and they'll come show you your best options. Keln Solar. They move the power so you don't have to. KelnSolar.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steel Craft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
All right, John Hoffnagel is joining the Toronto Argonauts in a senior advisory role. Reports from 3 Down Nation there. Also, Montreal signed Canadian Tyson Philpott to a 2-year deal today. He had 61 catches, 804 yards in 2025 for Montreal. SJHL in the area, Weyburn hosting Yorkton. Nipawin traveling into Laurens. AAA Midget Blazers, Moose Jaw. Great tilt tonight, 7 p.m. in the Jaw. Regina Pats Canadians are in Estevan. National Hockey League Canadian teams. Ottawa skates in Montreal. Toronto's in Florida. Calgary's in Nashville. Vancouver in Colorado. And the Edmonton Oilers welcome Minnesota. Canadian Senior Curling Championships today. The round robin, Bruce Corte 8-1 over Yukon. Amber Holland lost 7-4 to BC. She's 3-1. Corte's 4-0, and Corte's on the ice right now taking on Newfoundland and Labrador. Sportscage.com poll today. Do you think the CFL players' salaries should be made public? Vote at sportscage.com. Sports tickers for Steelcraft doors in Regina, built in Canada for Canadians. Tough enough for our true north weather. The Professor Don Hewitt's with me here. We're going to go to the Ben Hebert interview that we had earlier. You got 30 seconds.
Excellent.
Any closing words?
Yeah, it was a great interview. You're a good buddy of Ben. And, sometimes good interviews are a result of that when you know the person you're talking to personally, like yourself and Ben. And
you asked some good questions, too. People are going to get to hear.
Yeah, but I had to think harder than you did. But anyway, congratulations for Ben. And like he said, they learned a lot in Moose Jaw at the Worlds, and they're ready to rock in Italy.
It's a great interview. Stay tuned. We got Ben Hebert from Regina, Saskatchewan coming up here on the Sports Cage.
Back to our regular spot, PumpJacks Cathedral.
I thought PumpJacks was a kind of boot polish till last month.
What are you getting?
Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful.
You had me at meaty.
Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage.
And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
620 CKRM on location.
Hi there, it's Cody Glyden broadcasting in Yorkton. The Yorkton Exhibition Cash Lottery happening right here at the Gallagher Center. This is my final opportunity for today to remind you to get your ticket for that $100,000 cash grand prize. The draw is happening at 9 o'clock on Friday night. That means you've got to have your ticket by this Friday, or you're going to be out of luck. There are going to be 10 draws of $500, 14 draws of $1,000. There's also that 50-50, and we all love a good 50-50 in this province, but moreover, we all love $100,000. If you're getting close to that retirement mark, you're going, yeah, you know what?